Well, hello, hello, hello. How are you doing, everybody? Beautiful people. My computer's being slow today, which is no different than any other day. So it is what it is. And um, sometimes, Diddy clogs up the whole damn the whole damn web, right? I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you are enjoying your weekend. And I don't. Do y'all remember ever celebrating Columbus Day, or Am I just like what? I don't know. I don't know. Let me know because I don't remember celebrating Columbus Day whatsoever. My kids have tomorrow off and Tuesday off. I'm like, why? Why are we racking up on the hurricane days right now? Swear school's not at all like it used to be, right? Hey, Irene, how are you? So good to see you. And Donna and Beach Bum and Lynn Kay and Trace and Jean and Bewitched and me go up. Stacy, how are you? Lamisa, hey girl. Good to see you, baby girl. It's been a while. Um, just me. Hey, I hope you're doing okay. Just me. I think about you all the time. Yep. I'm getting it. I'm getting it back together. It just, if it ever it was together, I'm trying to get it back together. Hopefully better, right? Anyways, it is what it is. Chris Arnett, how are you? Hey Angie, how are you? Oh, that's right. It's Turkey Day and where you're from, Canada. Any other places? I'm so like ignorant on other, you know, nationalities. And I was married to a Brit for a hot minute. His mom would be like, "Hello," and I was like, "Oh my god." She's been in the States for goodness 40 years, and she still has the thickest British accent ever. Hey, Great Dane Mom, how are you? Yeah, it's been a while. You're deep in the Koberger case, right? Oh, I appreciate it. I think about you too. I don't know. I haven't seen Janelle. I was thinking about her earlier. But, I mean, I get it. We gotta fly. But I do like seeing, you guys touch base and just every now and then. I love to see that. Hey, Carrie, how are you? Hey, Kathy, replay. Oh, you're gonna come back and watch replay? Oh, Lord, I might be that slow. Well, happy Turkey Day. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody who is celebrating that. And I'm just ignoramus over here. And I'm like, do we remember celebrating Columbus Day? Anyways, Columbus left a real bad taste in my mouth via this little thing right there. This little lady right here, this little demon lady, Lori. Because, anyways, it's all entrenched in Mormon lore. I don't even know if it's doctrine or lore or I don't even know, but it's something to do. It's like Nephi gets combined with Columbus, and I'm just like, what happened here? That's how we got seasoning. That's all I remember. Hey Ashley, how are you? I haven't seen you in a long time. Glad you're here. Hey Festus's mom. Hello everybody. Yeah, let me not do that. Right. Yeah, I have so much to talk to y'all about, but it's kind of like wild, not wild. It's just, I don't know. I made some really not weird connections, but it really, to me, it like really painted a more clear picture of what kind of politicking ish atmosphere, which I don't care. I don't. I just it's these people and whomever is in this movement is who I'm like bad, bad, bad. You know, I mean, they've been under our scope long enough that I mean, they did not pass the smell test. So here they are. Lucky them, huh? It don't bother them. I wish it did. Oh, thank you, Kathy. Hello, Vivian. Hi, beautiful people. I require more information on Mormon Columbus connection. Me too. Obviously, yeah. It's so confusing anyways, but I mean, I do remember like, okay, the pilgrims. This all goes in with the whole new names that Lori and Chad got, received in the temple. And some of them are to do with pilgrimage, because this is where they confound that belief about Tim Ballard is the best at this with the founding fathers mixed, intertwined. Of course, church and state is slap dab together. Okay. There is no separation of church and state when you're dealing with these folks at all. You can't. They don't, so you can't. And so it's like, yeah, it's a good theory on paper, but it's non-existent in this neck of the woods, period. I wish, but I don't even know what that looks like actually. And then again, why they put in God we trust and then everything on our dollars and our, you know what I'm saying? It's very confusing. So, girl, you going to karaoke? What you gonna sing? Yeah, well, this is about the only time you want to hear my voice. I don't karaoke unless I'm drunk. And then I don't stop believing. Anyways. Mm-mm. That and Four Non-Blondes. I always like singing that too, which is a ridiculous song to sing, but it kind of, yeah. Hey, Layla, how are you? Yeah, have fun. Yeah, have fun, Lamisa. I'm sorry. I'm just like, man. Bewitched says I read a random quote, women talk, maybe from a series, but as long as we keep the dialogue, they can't silence us all, right? Boy, they try. They try. That shadow band has been my friend for this for a while, for a long time. Every now and then I break out the gate and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, oh, what is this? Why am I getting views? What did I do? What did I say? Like I go back and I'm like, what did I say? Like I didn't reveal anything. Anyway, they must have been bored. It is confusing separation of church and state and God, but there it is. One nation under God, indivisible. But yeah, so and I mean that again, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth with like what Nancy James did. There was a post. I wish I could think of. I need to write myself a note. This is my note when I go. I always rewatch. Okay, so I'm telling myself now, write this down. Look for the post about Nancy James and returning to their podcast. Because it's such a big to do. Um, and how they're just so grateful for Thanksgiving, but it's the words that she used, okay? And I mean, I'm just saying along the lines of these people, okay? Talking about harvest and stuff. It just I don't know. I'd have to show you in order for you to be like, that's nonsense, Crusha. But at least I have to be able to show you. But I keep up the commentary on as many channels, and especially with regard to Tim Ballard. He has to go. Tim he rears his ugly head. I mean, he's I know a lot of they're hexing me. Todd, Jason, my mama, and dad. They're doing good. Jason scares me on the daily, so that's just, it's just life now. That I don't think I'll ever get used to Jason and he's we call him Junebug because ever since he's had his strokes, he like his depth perception is off bad. And so, I don't it's a brain trauma, and so it's just like, oh, okay, personality changed. I'm just like, oh, I didn't know all this, and again, I've been so into this that it's like I just slowly unveiled myself and I was like, oh, oh, it's like it all just made sense. And I was like, okay, I get it. Now I understand. But at least I wasn't like, what? questioning his moods anymore. Like, is it me? Oh my God. It's so different. It's like night and day. And I mean, he's doing great with what he has to work with. So it is what it is. And but Junebug is his little nickname because like he'll set out to walk somewhere or go somewhere or whatever, and then he's just like okay, he's unpredictable. And so Junebugs freak me out though, especially if they get in your hair and it's up. Oh my God, get in your hair and it's up and there's no rhyme or reason to them. Yeah. So it's kind of like, holy crap, waiting on it. Yeah, take care, Jason. Thank you. Appreciate that. Speaking of turkey neck, Tim Ballard, right? Me too. I need to shut up. Casting spells is merely spelling words out to make people think. Keep the commandments coming. Yep. Thank you, Lamisa. Todd, I haven't been able to talk to him lately, but I want to. Lots, I want to talk to him about. And I talked to Mom the other night, and yeah, I mean, they're doing okay. I mean, the last that they said, or that Mom said, was, she had kind of, I can tell she's kind, and this is just me. I could be totally wrong, but I feel like she was putting her feelers out. Like, did you watch that interview? And I was just like, yeah, immediately. And I mean, I understand picking and choosing what you consume, especially of this little troll right here, this little troll of mine, right? So anyways, she was just kind of, I feel like she was putting her feelers out, and I guess, and I was like, just go, I would go for it. I mean, I wouldn't subject you to it if I didn't think it's something that you wouldn't expect. I mean, it was a little shocking though. I was like, man, maybe I was a little too, lenient with that, because it is shocking. But from Lori, it's not. It's not, Unfortunately. I mean, and I watched Collier Landry last night. He read a letter. It was about a year ago, and his dad had murdered his mom. I mean, red rummed his mom. I can't do this. I can't. I can't do the censoring. It sucks. But and so he was reading a letter that his dad had written to him. His dad's in prison. His mom is no longer here, and he testified against his dad to put him away, basically. I mean, it did. I don't really know much more than that, but I've seen him around, and I just kind of looked him up last night. Cause like, wait, let me see how he reacts. How it is, what it's like for him to receive news from his red rum parent, And I did, and he was real and raw, and it was a letter that was written to Collier Landry whenever he was like 15, and reading it, a year ago. He's well into adulthood, and anyway, so he's I like the way, I mean, he handled it really well. I mean, I'm not judging. I'm just like, I'm impressed, like, I don't know, and I don't want to know. Mom, don't kill anybody, please. Don't kill me. But okay, Layla says, I watched a recent interview with him, and his story is really compelling. He went through a lot as a child. It sounds like it, It really does sound like it. Janine Murray says, the woman is a psychopath. Personally, I believe she is damn well aware of everything. I think she knows she is playing head games with herself. In my head, right in my mind. If I hear that one more time, proof right there. She knows. There's so many things I'm like, aha, what about this? I mean, just because it's like, and it really doesn't matter, it really doesn't. It doesn't. There's nothing more that woman or that man can do in this lifetime. I say that, maybe I should be careful how I say this. That would, it definitely won't bring back Tylee, Lori. It definitely will not bring back JJ either. Tammy, Charles, Joe, Stacy, any of 'em, it won't bring back anybody, whether we off them or not. I mean, it just you can poop in one hand and what have in one hand. I'm used to cussing with it, so that's why I'm like, what? Oh my god! Oh, I'm losing my smart assness, and that ain't good. Murder in Mansfield is his documentary. Okay. Y'all, I've been finding something. I'm just like, oh my God, just by Googling a keyword, and I'm just like, or a key phrase, and I'm like, United Families. It just looked like it was part of the damn sentence. It didn't look like anything formal. And then I looked it up today and I was like, oh my God, okay, well, this is how Jason Mel ties in. It's right here. And this is where Arizona and their corruptness, allegedly, the corrupted part, it kind of plays in. And I find that super interesting because there's not much more we know about that side, at least with Jason Mao. I also am of the opinion, because of this zombie thing. Again, this is just nobody can ever say yes or no. And it's just going to be one of those things that's left dangling for the rest of time. But when Melanie Gibb, actually, when Lori told Colby that she did not bring in the zombie thing, that's not mine. In 19 years of having an iCloud account, she did not ever, she had it come up one time in her discovery, which, I guess we got to take her word for it, right? But just saying, it's just like the cult label. I feel the same about the zombie thing. I don't want to tag anything on them that they did not earn themselves. However, their group did. However, here it is. She had, and he had, Chad and Lori both had their trials. They were, took it to court. They had their day in court, so to speak. And none of them, not near one of them, spoke up. Not one of them said, okay, it was because Tylee, whatever. That pisses me off about that little girl. It's like, stop murdering people after they're murdered. Murderer. It is. Yes, and she's got the savior complex so big time. She's like, I'm a god. And for real, and I just chuckled because it's so insane. It is insane. It's insane. It's insane. And I'm gonna play a little clip here in a little bit that, and so it was so important for them, and by them, Melanie Gibb, David Warwick, Lori Vallow, to go do this stupid podcast that you can do from across the world. Me and Timbuktu can, not Tim, but we can podcast with one another from across the globe. We don't have to be in one another's living room. We don't have to be in one another's space. We don't have to do that. It's really neat. If not, I'd have to go visit y'all, each of you, in your living rooms right now. Come on. That's insane. And then only to turn up with no, or a corrupted file or something. I forget. I think it was Rob Wood that said it, and I just don't remember where. I know it was in Chad's trial, but I don't know if it. Anyways, if anybody knows, let me know. Because it was all about their podcast. They didn't even have the file, and I'm just like, bullshit. That is some bullshit. Okay, we've been hearing about this since this case broke. And I've been wanting to know about it. Okay. All right. Barbecue. Whoop, whoop. I'm there. I'll bring the potato salad. Her life of Job. I drove around the beautiful neighborhood in Chandler just thinking I would have given anything to be home with my kids, just getting them to their activities. Right. That's a good way to put it, Trace. Maybe he wanted her to be caught and him free. It wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. It wouldn't surprise me. He is such, if we're talking about Chad, he's a douche. He's a douche. Hopeful 615. Hey. You're making me hungry for damn barbecue, Robbie. Stop. Here's a thought. Maybe she spelled zombies wrong in her search. Right? Look what I can do. Look what I can do. Look what I can do. Right? Um, oh, yeah, me too. Unfortunately, Robbie. You got me. um, it did. It worked out for both of them. They're both sitting their asses behind bars, and I'm here for it, right? I'm here for it. Now, if it meant that they were ever getting out, I think it would be a different story, you know. Remember when she was trying to get out for COVID? I'm sorry, the jab or whatever, the sickness that we had that we can't talk about, but we had it. Ugh, it's aggravating. I think it is. I know y'all do too, I'm sure. Okay, my computer's being slow. Hmm, I'm trying to think of where I'm going. So I'm trying to figure out, I don't know which way to go first. It's kind of it's kind of all, you know how I do. I kind of orbit, but it all kind of has to do with each other. But it's not enough to like say, hey, I found a bunch of odds and ends, you know. Not really gonna draw a lot of people. And not that I'm trying to draw a lot of people. It's just like I don't know. I just made some things or some connections or whatever. And it kind of goes back to what I was saying just now that I didn't finish. So my orbit. The whole I don't think that the zombie thing came from so much Chad and Lori. I don't. I really don't. I'm not saying they didn't talk about them. I'm not saying that they didn't say Z's and things like that. But I really do think too good of a word. He's a douche slug or slug a douche. We'll come up with something. Slug. Yeah. I think they should be able to charge Ian Pulowski for some shit too, helping them, not helping, etc. He obviously in Emma and Seth Daybell's Cult of Killers. Hmm. That's a good one. Not just the text between her and Alex, but Mel G testified. She said JJ was climbing on cabinets, acting like a zombie. Yes, ma'am. She created a different narrative in her own head. I think she did the whole, because she didn't respond to police right away because, Lori was like, hot potato. And she was like, oh, crap. Maybe, I don't know. I do think that Melanie Gibbs' hands are dirty as hell. As I think they're as dirty as Lori's, allegedly, in my opinion. Melanie and your man, your whatever man, Warlock. I think their hands are dirty. I've always thought that. I think that they created an alibi around kind of what was available as far as evidence. And I do think that I think they're culpable. And I think that maybe when she finally did contact police, that she was like, you know how they do. This is, I mean, you can bet on this. There is going to be, and there has been, obviously. So just going off of the past behaviors from every one of these people, there's always the, yeah, I did it, or, yeah. But then it's like, look over there. Look over there. Here, you want something really crazy? Here, zombies. She called her kids zombies. Yep. But there's no evidence of this. There's nothing. I mean, I've never heard. I mean, this is Melanie Gibbs says she heard Lori call Tylee a zombie. And Tylee said, not me, mom. Right. And I mean, I'm just like, oh God, you stop thinking after that because you're just like, how horrible. But really think about this in the infamous Reddit email that we found out about that is really, really true. You can always go back to it. You can always check it. Hey, Ravina, how are you? If Lori never believed in zombies, what the fuck was Charles talking about to the police? Because he definitely said she was calling people zombies, and he was 100% sane and non-murderous. I don't remember him saying zombies. He said dark spirits. I'm Ned. I'm Garrett. Let's think about this. Eplos, but never a zombie. I mean, please correct me if I'm filing through my brain right now. Yeah. Mm-mm. And then, yeah, no, they live in different states, right? Probably safest. Just saying. Do y'all think they got married for thinking that they wouldn't have to testify against one another because they're that dumb? I mean, they have blood on their hands. Thank you. As far as we know, they're still together, but maybe they're just still part-time and like they always were. Mm. I mean, just David Warwick's answer on the stand. If he loved Melanie, and he was just like, yeah, meh. And that's from David Warlock. You know, it's just crazy. I think it is zombies that I think Melanie Gibb and David Warwick are the ones who actually introduced this idea. And I think that this idea came from Jason Mao, none other, right? I mean, I actually found because of my little searches today, um, that that one phrase that I looked up that was in Tim Ballard's one of his civil suits filed against him. And I was just grabbing the section where it talks about Ken Krogh and Janet Russin and who they were to Tim, and then how this factored into M. Russell Ballard, and I mean his role in this. I'm not alleging. It's pretty factual, you know? It just is. I don't care what they gaslight and what they erase and scrub and bubbles. I mean, whatever. But I just think it's important because there's also another like phrase that I have seen come up time and time again. And it is called, and I know it sounds crazy, it's out there. Brand ambassador. I know. I know. Woo, right? Brand ambassador, whoopity doo dah, crash. Well, I'll take you on that ride in a little bit. But I do think that Melanie Gibb and David Warwick, for sure, they wrote the infamous uh Reddit email. Okay, the one I laughed my ass off trying to read it out loud to the camera. I was like, "What secret combinations?" Yes, ma'am. You can tack zombies right there with secret combinations, and then you know, and it just suits Melanie Gibb in this sense because she sure does like to point fingers. Okay, she likes to point fingers at the secret combinations, at the zombies, at the oh my god, past lives, past wives. But she's right there doing it too. She's got a past life wife name. She's got yeah, I mean, she's got all this. She left her 4 kids, or I think 4 kids, and her husband. She picked on him for having eczema. Shame on you, girl. You know what I mean? Like, she was looking for an out, and she, by way of, Sean Little Bear had talked to Melanie Gibb about this, and she wanted us to speak or whatever for allegedly for preparing a people conferences and all that jazz. And he's like, "Well, you got to write a book," and so she did, and it's, I mean, my notebook qualifies. If not, it actually is better. My notes from this week are better than Melanie Gibbs' book. And then Chad Daybell wrote a foreword in Melanie Gibbs' book that was published right around the time that the kids went missing. So interesting, huh? Yeah, that Mormon talk is upsetting. Secret combinations. It is. And I mean, it's just one of those like cognitive dissonance things, and just not knowing what the hell they mean by secret combinations. I mean, just secret combinations. Secret. I mean, I always just kind of was like, watch out for them Ghanaian robbers, because it's just it's an entirely different language than I know. And this, in my opinion, I've said this so many times, I'll say it again, this is another way that the church secures and isolates its members from outsiders, and vice versa. Outsiders from its insiders, and I mean, it's that language barrier, boy. Oh my God, that was the hardest thing for me to get over. Once I got over that, I was like, ass is grass. You know what I mean? And I mean, wasn't bring the fire? Yeah, feel the fire, right? So fitting, huh? Oh yeah, let me play that. It is, yeah, here it is. Oh gosh. Oh, thank you. I just saw it and then I saw a super chat and then it beamed me this way. This was from September. Now this podcast right here was from uh crap. September 7th, 2019. This is the same day as the OUR that was sponsored, the rescue run, Rexburg rescue run that was sponsored by Chad Daybell and Tammy Daybell, essentially, um, on September 7th, 2019. And the only person that wasn't there, I mean, it's his company and everything, and it's sponsoring, Mr. Ballard, Timmy Ballard, right? I mean, they're already co-speakers and whatever. They spoke on the same circuit. Same people, same events, same things like that, okay? And I mean, Tim Ballard still goes and speaks for these people. Rod Meldrum. Rod Meldrum's buds with Ken Krogh. Well, let me figure this out. Rod Meldrum introduced Ken Krogh and Tom Harrison, actually. Okay. Rod Meldrum, I mean, there's photos of him going up to Glenn Beck's Idaho ranch. I also have screenshots of Glenn Beck donating to an Idaho sheriff sale, or I don't know, some old movie memorabilia, which I mean, I'm like, you do movies? I mean, huh? You know, rich people, I just don't have their kind of fucking problems. I don't know. I'm just like, what do y'all do? Why? And they're so damn bored. Another thing I learned this week was wherever there are these big events. Now, I mean, I follow the Diddy case too. So wherever there are these big galas, which I mean, Tim Ballard goes to these galas and these red carpets and these movie, what do you call them? Movie premieres and things like that. I mean, we have Gordon Bowen who would go. He worked for Robert Redford for what it's worth at Sundance and whatever. I'm not whatever. I'm just saying it because it's true. And so we have this whole movie acting type stuff going on where they have to be on film. Yeah. Sort of like Tim Ballard does whenever he's on his OUR rescue runs, them fake rescue runs. I'll say rue as in no faux, FAUX, faux. That's what it says in the end, and actually in the criminal investigation into him, faux, where he was using Janet Russin, and he did not alert any of his donors that he was using a remote viewer to quote unquote locate Gardy, which I'm pretty sure they misplaced him. I mean, in my opinion, allegedly, I don't know. It's just, I don't know what it is. Yeah, I can't attach to the story. I feel bad for Gardy Marty and I hate this, if in fact it is true. And that's sad. I know. I'm not saying that it's not, but I mean, I'm just like, I wouldn't put it past him and them. I mean, this was a bishop. Oh God, I feel bad for saying it now, but I mean, it was a bishop that was in Haiti, but they were from Utah. At least Gardy was born in Utah. Okay. And then he goes, I guess, back to Utah. I mean, to Haiti, and then he's kidnapped. And then I think didn't Tim try to like prosecute the wrong people there too or something? I forgot. I'm gonna have to go back and check. Don't quote me on none of this part, Um, it just I'm watching how Diddy's whole thing is playing out, and I'm just like, and I mean, bam, last night before I went to bed, there were allegations against Kanye West, who did what? Kanye West did what? Kanye West allegedly gave a leather chair to Utah Attorney General Sean Reyes for him to whatever at Mac's Place, which is a members only place. Like you have to like buy a membership in order to go talk to the big Bambooski or whatever. I don't really know. It doesn't say much more than that, but that was in the lawsuit that has been dropped since by, I want to say her name is Lynn. I don't know her first name, but her last name is Whitehead. And she dropped the suit because Sean Reyes said that he would not run again for Utah Attorney General. I wonder if he's going to run for something similar. I would have never dropped it just yet. Don't trust. In fact, and I know this is going to sound really conspiratorial, which I mean, whatever. I'm sure y'all are used to it by now. But I mean, these people are wild. They are wild as all get out. Danny Masterson. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And oh, Ashton. I used to like Ashton. Well, I'm telling you, it's like ruining your worldview every damn day. Heard about Tool, and I was like, damn, I like Tool. This is about how long I visit these things. I'm like, I like Tool too. And I was like, oh well. And I mean, poop, you just gotta throw that shit to the back because here they are. It's like our royalty in a sense, like this is our royalty. This is, and it's bad. I love Tool. Oh my God. I know the pieces fit. I remember going into a sound garden or what, not a sound garden, sound shop. Anywho, and in the mall when I was pregnant, I was big and pregnant with Ashlyn with my heels on. I was on lunch and I was like, okay, I don't know the name of the song, but it goes like this. And I was like, dun, 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 They were like, oh my God, lady, pregnant lady. Kitty is all tangled in all the shit. More need to give him prison partners. Yeah. With no oil. No oil. That's your karma. No oil for you. No lube for you. Chin is a tool. Oh, beach rum. That's funny. MJK is a freaking genius. Who's MJK? MJK. Wait, did I miss him? MJK. Girl, I hate acronyms, so I suck at acronyms. I saw Tool about 7 months ago in Pitts. Oh, it is. It is, Robbie. And that's what I've been like, I know y'all have, some of y'all have. I know some of y'all are like, did he? I don't care. But I'm just like, To me, this is what it appears to be. And y'all know how I kind of I'm good, or this, I say I'm good, I don't know. But I tend to see things from an overall perspective. And it really does seem like since Homeland Security, hear me out, since Homeland Security was like all investigating David Levitt, which y'all need to y'all got to go see Nora Jasmine's video on David Levitt and David Hamblin. She doesn't really too much, know about talk about the Gordon Bowen aspect. I was so proud though. I took me some notes and everything. I was like, and, because there's not many people that have covered it or will cover it. Not even mainstream media will touch it. And just the way, how some people present things and you're like, oh, I never saw this blaring at me, like, holy crap, how David Levitt just volunteered himself, okay, on June 1st, 2022 or 21, whatever, one of those years. And he's blaming the sheriff for going after his political career. Like, oh, this is politically motivated, blah, 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 right here before the races. And I'm like, you're the one that interjected yourself, idiot. Straight up. And the way Nora Jasmine, told it and shared that story, I was just like, oh God, he sewed it. I mean, I don't know. It just sometimes I have a little ding, ding, ding. Takes me a little bit, but made your brain pop. Uh-oh. Palatka. I hope y'all are safe in the hurricane areas, man. She did. I like her too. She's just like boop boop boop, and then she's out. And you heard, if you did watch Nora Jasmine's video on David Levitt, she actually did one too, maybe two. I don't know. I don't remember. On Nicholas Alaverdian. I like the way she tackled it from Nicholas's angle, off the night. You know, the one that took 5 years and blood tests and all kinds of things to get him extradited to Utah. And it's interesting because David Levitt is an alleged I'm gonna say SRA, or I don't know what to say, uh, a ritual accuser. Let's say accuser. I don't know. And but yet he's going after Nicholas Alaverdian, who obviously has been in this entangled web of, it's like they have to have dirt on you. And I think this kind of happened with Lori and Chad in this sense, where it's like, if you muck up, you're going to look like you're starting your own cult. You're going to say she thinks she's a damn god, you know? And I mean, it's like a catch-22 in a way. And I don't know how to explain that, you know, without people going like, oh my God. But I mean, I've seen it over and over and over again. It's like a protection where they have something on you. They have blackmail, and that's what they do. And I mean, think about what Tim Ballard said to Celeste Borges, where he says, we're going to have so much shit on them. They're going to be silenced forever. It's somewhere in one of his lawsuits. I mean, I'm just like, well, there you go. I mean, this is what he does. This is what we are in. We are in the SRA up to our eyeballs. And I mean, people just need to get comfortable with it. Okay. And we don't need to be shadow banned for it. Word to you, Google Daddy. Didn't somebody like leave from Google the day that Diddy, all that stuff happened with Diddy? I don't remember. I don't know enough to talk about it, but let me get back to what I was doing, if ever, right? Okay, so I'm just going to play this little clip so we can just, you know, get pissed off all over again. This was Lori, and this came out early. I don't even know where I got it from. I want to say maybe Zav Girl or somebody had it around. And this is To Fuel the Fire. Oh, hell, I can't read her. His goodness. And Fuel the fire. What is a baptism of fire? And I mean, in plain sight, in plain freaking sight. Okay, so they have one for September 7th, 2019, but they do not have one for September 22nd, 23rd, 2019, when Lori claims that Tylee is now her, basically. Okay, but worse. Basically, she's so noble. She's doing such a noble thing for her daughter. She never said anything about it. And she is just, you know, sacrificing her literal life to protect that of her babies. Yet she comes out with it 5 years later when it's convenient for her. Okay. So bullshit, Lori. Bullshit. Anyways. Yeah, that's wrong. It kind of quiet there in the beginning.
Like, if I can be more perfect, then that causes him less suffering. Yeah. Don't you think that? Like, did you think that when you were younger? Like, I could be more perfect, and then if I do everything perfectly, then it's like Jesus has a little bit less pain. Yep. And I don't want to be the one to cause him pain. No, it's not how it works. But that isn't how it works.
And I didn't know that until I started figuring it out through the Spirit.
Well, no shit.
And one of the clues is like, how would I know? Because I remember when I was in pain, suffering before my experience, I remember going, well, what does this mean when King Benjamin says this in chapter 4 and verse 10 and 11? But I'm going to start with 11 actually this time, because we already talked about repenting and forsaking our sins. But he said, as you have come to the knowledge of the glory of God, that you have known of his goodness and have tasted of his love, and have received a remission of your sins, which causeth, here's the qualifier here, such exceedingly great joy in your souls.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, you don't have joy. You haven't repented, Melanie, because you're not having this joy. That was a huge clue for me.
Right, because you figured out. But you were literally miserable.
I was.
So what is the opposite of joy? Is it misery?
Oh,
Is
Jesus.
it misery? Like, I hate my life.
Yeah.
This isn't going
Y'all can hear me in
right.
the
What am
background. I'm
I
sorry.
doing here? This has all gone awry. That's how I felt in my life. Like, this life has gone awry. Like, this is not happening. This is out of control, and I can't handle this. And this is not how it was supposed to go. And this is not what I signed up for. Like, I was thinking all those things and not being accountable. Like you were saying, like not taking responsibility. Like,
Still
you know
not.
what? I made this choice. And this was actually a consequence of this, but it was part of what I designed before I came to this life, so that I could learn those kinds of valuable lessons. So I tend to be now more like, when something goes wrong, because things still go wrong, right? And I tend to be like, what do I need to learn from this? What's this experience about? What do I need to learn from this, so that I can overcome it quicker instead of taking 10 years of being miserable and have joy. How can I learn from this so that I can move on and have joy all the time?
What you're learning is to trust in your journey. That's what I
Negative.
felt as you start to trust. And I orchestrated this because before we were like, why does our life stink so badly? We
Because y'all are
must have done
shitty people.
something really bad. Like, what is going on here? But then now that we have more life
Whoa.
understanding, we're thinking, oh, that was perfect.
Okay, so because I mean, I get this too. I get this off of them a lot. They act like once they are saved or whatever in their belief system, they think that's a wrap. And like, no, can't touch this. Dun. But you can, because that's life. You know, it doesn't matter what you quote unquote did and signed a contract with, light or dark, Jesus or not, in the lifetime before this, because let's get it straight. Mormons do believe in multiple lives, hence premortal life, this life, and then afterlife. That's 3 right there. Boom. So I don't care. I'm not going to do the freaking semantics anymore. Like, it is what it is. And they are off of it. And I mean, I get this arrogance off of a lot of these people, especially in this group. They're just like, okay, just because I say Jesus or talk about it, it's like, it doesn't mean you are, it's like, what? It's a continual freaking, you learn every day, you fall every day, you get up every day, you make mistakes every day, you correct them, or you do consequence and all that stuff. And they're just like, okay, well, I did that. It's like a 2-year-old. I think a 2-year-old would get it more than they would.
It's perfectly what I needed.
Right, because you can look back. I can even look back at my ex-husband and think of all the misery like that he caused in my mind at the time, which
in my mind,
I still have to say his point was to cause misery, but his job was to cause me misery. But I could have had joy that whole time. But I look back on it now and think that was exactly what I needed. It was exactly what I needed, because I needed to learn a lot of valuable lessons out of that.
Still do.
When you are miserable, and you don't understand it, like we tend to blame God, right? Like, why did you do this to me? Why did you put me here? This is a horrible situation. And whether we put ourselves in that situation or not, the answer is the same. He's like, you designed this.
Yeah.
You chose these challenges. You chose these trials because you know what you needed to become successful. And you know what you needed to overcome in this life so that you could move on and have eternal progression.
Exactly. And he wants us to learn that you can do this with me. And then he wants us, I like what you said, to feel successful, because anytime we're obedient, we feel so happy. There's something happy.
Joy does come from obedience. There is joy. There is joy in obedience. And I love that about Heavenly Father. I think, you grow up as a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and you think it's so restrictive, right? You think your life, especially as a teenager, right? You think your life is so restrictive. You can't do this, and you can't do that, and you can't do this. But you learn over time that through that obedience comes that joy, because then you're not hard on yourself. And it's not even you, it's the dark ones who are telling you, oh, you messed that up. It's over.
They're looking in the mirror.
You're done. You're done. I told that to the 16-year-olds I was teaching, and I said, raise your hand if you feel like you've done something so wrong that it's over and you're done.
Shaming them already.
Raised their hand. And there was like 22 of them. And they all raised their hand that they felt like at 16, they had already done something that's so wrong that they're done. And I explained to them the atonement and what it really meant, and what that he's paid for everything you've ever done or everything you're gonna do, and that all he wants you to do is say you're sorry and do better the next day and move on, because those are experiences that you're having. And these kids did not understand that concept, and they were,
because they're not being taught it.
Perfectionism that we put on our kids today is really bad.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's
in their
hard for
afterlife
them.
too.
And so we thought it was restrictive, but really, if you are obedient to those commandments and you're able to be obedient to those commandments, then you feel more joy, and then the adversary cannot use those little things against you.
They think they know every damn thing. They think they know so much. They sound hideous. They sound like they need to go and take all the lessons in the world at the jail, and they need to rework that into their create a vision board. I didn't mean that, not literally. Lori, got to tell some people. Jeez, y'all. I mean, just that part about, that. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. At the end of this one sounds even snottier. Hold on.
If you think of something else that,
one thing that I did think that was important, that reporting that I did.
Yeah.
I said, why would Alex say this? I don't know where the, how did I say it? I don't want to know where the kids are, and then they won't be able to be found. That won't be able. I just kind of combined it, but that was from Dilemma. That information was that.
That was from Dilemma.
I just threw into one when I was speaking to her, because they both came from either me or her. But anyway, I don't know why Alex would say that. So I didn't even want him to.
She's like, oh crap. Okay, I pushed her own button.
All right. If you think of something else
no. Stop. So she's just like, that information, that little tidbit that I've been sharing as fact, that I've been testifying to, basically, I mean, all these times, right? She's saying that little tidbit, that actually came from Dilemma and not actually Alex. And so she's like, so it either came from me or Dilemma. So, it's one and of the same to her. But it's not, because she's a little liar. This one here, pointing her finger down, act like she knows shit, act like she's better than everybody.
But that was from Dilemma. That information was that particular strip. I just threw into one when I was speaking to her, because they both came from either me or her. But anyway, I don't know why Alex would say that. I didn't even want him to know. Remember, that's what she said. I didn't even want him to know. And he doesn't even know where the kids are. I think she said something like, well, however I said it.
Yeah.
So to me, that says we can't blame Alex. If you're an attorney.
You think she's fishing to see if they're going to blame her? Right here, I just thought of that. Is she like, well, she's trying to be like Inspector Gadget, but she don't follow me, right? I don't follow me. Ooh, it's been a while since we've done some Melody Give. And she's going to be testifying, I'm sure, in Arizona, right? Ooh.
She can't put that on Alex when she says, we didn't even want Alex to know. So if they're going to try to put the blame on him, I think that part of the recording is helpful.
Okay.
Would you agree?
And in regards,
she needs some brownie points. She is like, please tell me I did a good job.
To the kids.
Yeah. I think it could be helpful to be used against her, personally.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I know there's a lot of evidence. I know that we have not rolled out the rug yet, because you guys know so much more than I do, even though I know the weirder kind of the definitions to what you're reading about.
You help us to corroborate. You have the Rosetta Stone for us.
Well, someday the police and I are all going to get together and have powwow. It's all said and done.
Oh, I wish that would come true. Just one day, me and the police are going to have a powwow. I wish that would come together.
It's been a hellish year, but it's been great learning for me. And I'll just say that I'm grateful that if anybody had to go through it, I'm glad it was me and not somebody else. Yeah. Because I'm kind of the reason why I was involved, I would say, is because I am very trusting. That's my weakness.
Well, I've come across a couple people like that.
Yeah, just so
That
trusting.
they're just trusting, and I hate to use the word naive.
She's doing that like Zalima does that, you know, like, I mean, it's just, it all happened to me. It's nothing that I did, you know, I mean, they were just deceptive, but I had no part in it. I wasn't doing castings. You know,
But there's some gullibility there with trusting too much.
Absolutely.
You don't have a tough skin in that area yet.
One lady that I've spoken with was like, I trust everybody. I'm a huggy person. I trust everybody. There's good in everybody.
And there is good in everybody.
Well, especially when you're dealing with religion.
Yeah.
If you're talking at a level of religion and Christianity,
you can't talk to her like this.
That trust. And to me, there's really no difference in, I mean, look at some of the scandals involving, priests, bishops, anybody in that high level of authority.
Can be manipulated.
Absolutely.
One of the definitions that I read in the Bible dictionary I thought was fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
It was under the title devil. And it said,
Imagine that. Melanie Gibb was looking her ass up herself.
I'm researching a lot of stuff right now. It's been very interesting. My own little research going on. And it says, one of Satan's greatest tricks is to convince, I don't know if that's the right word, people that they are following God when they're not.
I was like, boom, that is a statement of the damn case. Okay. I mean, that is just like screw money, power, sex. Is that one. Okay. And I already forgot. Oh my God. I forget. I'm sorry.
It was under the, because I'm researching a lot of stuff right now. It's been very interesting. My own little research going on. And it says, one of Satan's greatest tricks is to convince, I don't know if that's the right word, people that they are following God when they're not. Mm-hmm. And you think about all the other religions, and I'll just say in general people, how many people have killed people in the name of religion?
How many people have killed people in the name of religion? Melanie Gibb wants to know.
Gone in and raped.
Okay, because this is another thing that, I mean, would just poo-poo all over Lori's little theory. And it is that she's saying that didn't she say that Melanie Gibb and them were there? When she's saying that Lori, they were going to do the podcast, right? So I assume that she's like either mixing the two weekends, or I mean, again, September 7th, 2019 is the same weekend that Tylee was murdered. Okay. So, and then Lori was telling Colby that that's why she needed Tylee to watch JJ. Okay. Not mentioning the fact that she already stripped Tylee of her home, her friends, her job, her everything that she knew, her, everything, her dad, her stepdad, her brother, her niece, she had a new niece and everything, Riley, Kelsey, she stripped Tylee starting there, and she just continued to strip. Just like a conniving narcissist, psychopath. I don't even know. There's so many, like, I don't even know what's the highest thing you can be that is just like demonic. I really don't know. And then to still do it in their death is just like, oh my God. Right? Yes. And she also said that she stunk. I'm like, you just saying what we already scratch and sniff, right? We're like, poo, y'all, girl, close them legs. Just kidding. Okay, so exactly, narc, MO, I am, in my opinion. I'm like IMO. So, so that would mean that David and Melanie would have had to have, quote unquote, been there the same weekend that she was going to podcast, right? Which she did podcast, because September 7th, 2019, at least that's when it was uploaded, which was the same time that the OUR Rescue Rexburg run took place in Rexburg, Idaho, and it was sponsored by Chad Daybell's Spring Creek Book Company, right? Tammy was there. She was working as a volunteer. I have pictures of her at the finish line, finally. She is wearing blue jeans. Tammy is wearing blue jeans and a blue shirt, volunteer on it. Emma's there. Emma's son, he's a baby, right? At that time, really a baby. Joe Murray's there, and he was just a director of it. Okay. Then you have Seth, his wife, and Garth, and I don't think his 16-year-old little girlfriend could come over yet. Okay. He got married to her after Tammy died. But they're all standing at the finish line. There's no Chatty. Where's Chad? No. I mean, I know he's floating around with Lori. Where's the rest of them? Where's the rest of them? Where are they all at? You know they're loud. You know they like to scribble all over a lot of flyers. Where's all this at? Where's the noise? It I wish that had never came up in that damn trial. I was just like, whoa, what? As soon as it came out, I was like, I was waiting on it to come out about Melanie Plowski. I was not looking over here, even though I've looked at the things. I've looked and I knew the race, and I just didn't know it was called the Rexburg Rescue Run, and yada, yada. I didn't know all these things, and it's just like, oh man, I could have been harping on that for years. Damn it, So let's just catch this little last part because it's extra, looking down at people.
People, villages, right? In the name of God.
Wars
That
are
is one.
part of religion.
You know what? Yeah, wars are part of religion. So this is just a version of thinking they're these great people, and they still do because they're not remorseful yet at all. They're still in this cloud. And I'm hoping that bubble is going to pop one day, and I never want to speak to them until that bubble pops and go, do you know how much you deceived you? You killed your kids, girl. Or he killed them, or Alex killed them, or something, but she's involved.
She sounded like she knew a little bit about a little bit. Okay. So, again, I don't know. It's so nonsensical.
They're still in this cloud. And I'm hoping that bubble is going to pop one day, and I never want to speak to them until that bubble pops and go, do you know how much you deceived you? You killed your kids, girl. Or he killed them, or Alex killed them, or something, but she's involved. I feel like all three of them were involved. And I'm just teaching, you need to some serious prayers, girl. You need some help. Like, it's going to be a rude awakening. You hope she gets that before she dies one day. You hope that she gets to that point. I'm hoping that she will have that before she passes on. You don't really have to talk, but you're near.
I hope she has that before she dies. I just want this to be a mirror room, and I want her to have to dance in it for eternity, right? Oh my gosh. I mean, so, okay. Hold on. All right, let me go. Yeah, my stupid doubling, right? I don't know what some of these are. I'm like, what? Okay, hold your ears. Oh, God. I hate this. Come on, Slowpoke. It's going to come on. It's going to go bam. Some I never published. Some I never published. Yeah. It gets away from me. Just thinking here. I got the case in my files. It's just like, where do we go? Yeah. Well, Chad, Joe, November 27th was his birthday. Okay, so that's coming up. I thought it was November 3rd, but it was April 3rd. Okay. Put a pin in it. November 27th, 1958, April 3rd, 2018, allegedly. All right. A lot of things that I never publish, but I do make a lot of things. Okay. Here's a Roger K. Young. Allegedly. Another millionaire, you know. One day.
Roger Young, president and founder of Free Food to Go. You know, I've been involved with food storage and being prepared in one way or another for over 35 years. And during the last 20 years, during my spare time, of course, I have probably talked to over 30,000 people as I crisscrossed most of North America, educating and encouraging people to prepare for possible hard times and even emergency situations. In fact, during that period of time, I've even been out of work a couple of times and had to live off of my food storage a couple of months. And it was really comforting to have some food storage in the garage where I could provide for my family in the little time of our family emergency or even a crisis. It was really comforting to have food so that my family had that peace and security that they had, knowing that we had at least food to eat. Long story made short, about 2.5 years ago, some friends and I got together. We kicked around the idea of creating a food storage company that could provide food storage at a real reasonable price, perhaps even a wholesale price to people in the general public.
Well,
you see, we felt we were entering a period of time of uncertainty and rising food prices and emergencies that could last for several years. People were always coming up to me and asking where they could find food storage and preparedness items at prices they could afford. And I was having to tell them, I really don't know. Well, after working on it for about 2.5 years, trying to figure out a way to get as much food storage and preparedness items into as many hands as possible, as inexpensively as possible, and the answer is this company, Free Food to Go. We designed Free Food to Go as a group co-op where people like friends and neighbors could get together and work together so that our combined efforts could create a huge purchasing power. So we could provide food storage at super discount prices, maybe even wholesale prices that you can't get in the normal store or any other food company. Not only that, we have created a way that you could provide free food, storage, and preparedness items for people just by referring their friends to our company.
Oh, Lord.
Now, we realize that we're just getting started.
Shaped like this?
And there's a long way to go before our actual dreams or visions can be formalized. But we would like to encourage you to join with us. Help us make this company something very, very special and very, very unique. I and a lot of others have and continue to put our heart and souls into this company. I hope you will take the time to check us out and perhaps join with us. But yet, be warned, to us it's not just a business, it's a life mission that someday could literally help save lives, even perhaps yours. Anyway, thanks for listening and have a blessed day.
Oh my goodness. He was a very long-winded fellow, right? And then again, I'm just like, okay, so I try to see these people. They're birds of a feather flock together. Okay. But I try not to be general. But then I'm like, but they're all in the same, they're dabbling in the same stuff. Okay. They all have the same color paint on their hands. And it's like, by ye fruits, ye shall, we already saw. I can look, I have good insight, or you know what I mean? Like, I can reflect, and I really do try to dig. I know I don't know these people. I know that. And I'll be the first one to be like, I was wrong. Sound better on 2-speed. Okay, I have to remember that. It always comes down to money, for sure. Money under cover of religion. Hey, emerging Proton. It's good to see you. I watch all your videos. You're a very, very, very insightful lady. Thank you for being here. But yeah, you're right. Money under cover of religion. It's like they dabble a little bit in religion. Only, in my opinion, this group for sure. Only if it suits them. As per it suits them. Because, they also hide behind religion whenever they shame each other. That's, remember the core horror throwdown? That was crazy. That was a very crazy moment for me in this entire case. I was like, what? Or what are we listening to? It's the first time really hearing Lori, speak about any of this since the kids went missing and my uncle was red rummed. And I was just like, what did they say? What is a what? What is a core whore? You know? And I mean, yeah, because I mean, I even put it on a shirt. I was like, hashtag horror. And I was like, wait, let me look this up because I don't want to be blasphemy or anything, you know? Anyways. I can always see through these kind of people, especially hyper religious people. And so what is your take on them or me on us? You know, I don't think I'm, you know, I know that she is. I know Lori is. I know that Melanie is. I mean, and so what makes them slide into that? Okay, there's two different scenarios that are playing out in my world. In my world, I have to come up to the surface, so to speak, and I have to entertain that this is just religiosity. This is just too overzealous or some overzealous group of people. But then there's the other part of me that researches just as much as this part of me. And this part of me is like, there is a secret society. This is not just because people have said, hey, that's a conspiracy theory, whatever. That label came from the 3-letter government agency, by the way. And it's kind of like gaslight. It's kind of like, you didn't experience what you experienced. Your label, we're going to make you experience what we tell you to experience, because it's kind of like it's like another one of their smoke and mirror layers, you know, where they can separate themselves. And it's kind of, it reminds me of the False Memory Syndrome Foundation, straight up. That was organized. I said it wrong last week, I think, or whenever. And I said it was created by victims, but it was created by perpetrators who were being accused of really bad crimes against the children. And they created it in order to combat that. And then these people would go and I don't even know if they still do. I don't even know. I have to check myself, but I mean, it was this False Memory Syndrome Foundation has done a lot of damage, and just in general, just for existing, period. Okay. Don't pretend to be good or like you're breaking freaking research and oh, you're not covering crap. Like all you're doing is trying to mask yourself. I mean, if not behind Jesus, if not behind whatever it is, then they're masking themselves behind anything they can throw at the damn wall. And I mean, so what they did was they would send, and I mean, I'm speaking very ignorant here, Hey, share Amanda, how are you? Oil salesman, yeah. So to me, it's like, okay, I mean, I entertain the whole zealot, but then behind the scenes, it's a secret society. That's what this is. And that's why there's so many questions. That's why that's just it. It just, I don't know. I can't think of all the ways right this second. I mean, I can think of some ways, but I mean, I think the religion is a front. I really do. I mean, many of us have said this doesn't involve God. However, it's like an alternative God. And that's how I think this whole satanic panic, whatever you want to call it, I call it CA, some really, really severe CA that got a little out of hand. And so, boom, there come them labels, SPAC. And they're like, satanic panic. Okay. Nothing to see here. Nothing. Bishop Pace, Glenn Pace, we sustained you and everything. We put you to the task. You turned in this hell of a report with some really, really, really bad news about our little lambs here. And, I mean, we can't let this get out. So, and the labels come out. I've never seen so many labels as I do, as I have. I'm like, oh, what is this? What is this? And it's another label. It's something more that it causes people to go, well, I don't know. Are you safe? Wait, how do I know you don't have a tinfoil hat? Okay. You sure? Not behind you? I mean, it is so crazy. And it's like, don't tell me what I experienced and what I did not experience. Don't tell me what I've read and what I've not read. I mean, no, I don't understand everybody's walk of life. That's just, it's impossible. I'm not God. Don't try to be. But it's like, don't tell me that I didn't experience this. These are the same people, in my opinion, that have gone and scrubbed the internet, not scrubbed the internet, even worse. They went and changed a speech. I don't even remember when it was from. It was something I saw on Radio Free Mormon, or Bill Real and Mormonism Live. Oh, a long time ago. And it was the same speech, same speaker. It was an older from I want to say 80s or 90s. I don't remember. But you can find it on YouTube. I don't even know what to look at. Look up under. But it was the same speech. They just engineered it technologically to where they just kind of finagled it. And so if they're going to do something as covert and sneaky as that, I don't have time for them. Like that pisses me off, and I'm not even Mormon. Like, you don't do that to people. You don't say, hey, so I'm Bob, and I go turn on the tube, and I'm like, oh, I just can't wait to hear that speech. And you turn it on, and you're like, wait, what'd he say? Oh man, all these years I thought he was saying such and such. And then you come to find out that it's been altered and doctored. What else has been done? If we're so petty that we're going to just be doing crazy, mean, harmful things like that, then I've seen enough. Like, that's enough. Anyways, again, and then I'm learning this as I go too, that whenever all this time, I've never been Mormon, and I've never adhered to a church. Like, being a Catholic here in Southwest Louisiana is nothing like being what I've studied Mormonism to be. It is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. You're not just signing on to a church and saying, yeah, I'm gonna pay a little bit I'm gonna contribute to my community and do the things. No, this is like everything, their hands are in everything. And then they use those people, and then they I don't know, they're like gatekeepers in a sense, because then they tattle, and then you have the strengthening of the members, what? Okay. I went blank. What the heck is it called? Strengthening of members, but it's like a committee, so I know I'm having that all wrong. The Doctor Talk is by Ronald Pullman. Isn't he the one? Okay, thank you. You are always on the jam right there. Thank you. But wasn't he in the paper for alleged crimes like what Lori's father did? Wasn't he like picking up a hooker or something, allegedly? And I don't know. I'm just asking a question. You two people. I remember I even read the paper one, not just an article. You are too. You are too. You are. I've watched you from a long time ago. I'm like, oh yeah, she's got it going on. Oh yeah. I appreciate your work. I mean, especially, I'm telling you, I'm a never mow, but I have the most Mormon damn story. It's crazy. Not really, but you know what I'm saying? It's just like, but this is Mormon all over it. It's just like, here's some Mormon for you. And again, it's just like, I love my fellow human. I don't care what you are, who you believe in. Just let's not hurt our family members. Let's not hurt anybody for that matter. Definitely not hurt my family members. It's real crappy. And it's not the first time, because these things have existed way long ago. And I don't think they ever go away because they never get snuffed out thoroughly. It's like, okay, there will be a time of awareness, and then boom, the labels come flying out. It dies down. I don't know what happens. I was a little kid whenever Satanic Panic happened. Has Megan talked about this yet? Which part? I talk about a lot. But let me know, because I love to hear what Megan has to talk about. She's so good with she's just so poised. It's the ego. They only did things to please themselves, God and all. Right. Amen to that. All right. The Memphis Three were Satanic Panic victims. Scooter, because you and I have been learning about the dark side of Mormonism around the same time, and I have been a member for over 60 years. Well, that's really, I don't know if that's like good, but I'm glad to have been doing this together, because I can't imagine being in your shoes. I really can't. And I mean, it bothers me to see, I know why they say, and I say they, people that are inside the church, it happens where whenever somebody decides to leave the church, then they're like, oh, you just can't leave the church alone, and it's because you're just trying to throw a life vest, and you're just also, I can see them trying to save, put their own oxygen mask on while they're trying to throw a life vest to their family members. And I mean, it's just sad. I just don't like it. It bothers me. I didn't know it bothered me until I got in here. And then I was like, oh, I didn't know corruption bothered me, but my body rebukes it straight up. I'm just like, I can't look away. I try. And I mean, that's in there, that saying that's like, I forget who says it, and I always say things backwards, but to turn and look the other way. No, that was something I came up with. To turn and look the other way is to silence. Wait, how does that go? To turn and look the other way is to silence another victim. Something like that. But there's another saying that's close to that. It's like, I mean, if you turn and look the other way, then that's just as bad as doing it, And I mean, if you see something, say something, right? I mean, for real. Better safe than sorry. Oh, good. I'm looking forward to it, Diane. I am. And I appreciate, her time. She felt like I guess, I mean, this is what I got from it, was that she felt like, I guess everybody was expecting her to have, her entire take on it or whatever, but about Lori and that thing. And I mean, it's triggering, and different things trigger us differently, and the only thing I need to learn when Megan's around is where my damn mute button is. Okay, y'all, I'm so sorry. I'm just like, just shut up. You don't have to, like, I'm telling myself this. I'm like, you don't have to go, no, just shut up. I'm not used to having guests on. So it's really like, oh my God, I feel so rude. And I'm not doing it on purpose, but that doesn't make it any better. You know what I'm saying? So let me grab this real quick. Let me refresh it first. Oh, take that search out. Okay. But I really do. I think that it's a secret society. And so I don't know if I'm judging it, or I don't know if it's accurate as far as people. I'm not saying it has to be all one way or the other, like it could be secret society and the zealousness, like, I mean, but you also can't be telling people that they're gods and goddesses, priests and priestesses, and queens and kings. Okay? Because then you end up with people like Jody Hildebrandt, whether they were ordained or not, whatever. You just can't do this because it's sick. It's a sick, and I mean sick, like it's not well, it's unwell society, the echo chamber. And that is, I mean, it is so scary because, to think that there's just one or two here or there, every few years or so. Okay. But I mean, nah, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be talking about what I'm talking. I'd be moved on to like healing and stuff. Okay. Which, I mean, don't think I don't heal in all this too. So it's just, I don't know. It's not as it seems, there's more to this story. And I think it's worth, my family died for this. Their blood was spilled for this. I'm going to be here, until that's finished paying for it. You know what I mean? Because that's my blood. That's their blood. That's our blood. It's one and of the same because, well, not in the secret societies lens, because bloodlines are everything. Mormonism tends to really accentuate this and they gear you up for it. Okay. That's my opinion. That's just me. I think I already opened this tab, but I didn't save my what do you call it? My document from my room. So it's like, it's not giving it to me. Let's see. Or, okay. Yeah, here it is. My bad. And so it's like another way to get to zombie. Right. But I don't have it like all together. So I'm not really wanting to show y'all because it's just kind of out of order. Unless you don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind. I know you don't. Let's see. And that way I can kind of, I can kind of show you what I was dealing with. And so, I was just taking stuff from right here, my uploads and everything. And, I mean, I found this awesome paper about contextualizing Romney's Mormon moment. I mean, it's just about Romney. Like, I don't know a lot about Romney. So, but I mean, Romney and, Romney and this guy, Gordon Bowen, I mean, they worked on the 2002 Salt Lake City Winter Games thingy. I don't know what to call it. And this guy here I mean, he was known as Elder Ballard's golden boy. Okay. I mean, he's also an alleged Church of Satan, the LDS Church of Satan's version. All right. I've talked about it and I'm going to continue because I think that's what this is. I think it's a big old Diddy crew. Okay. It's just Mormon. It's just over here, Utah. Okay. And I mean, it's the culture. And I think that it makes this really ripe because, I mean, let's at least entertain it, like, don't just settle for it's just religiosity, hyper religiosity, and just consider it. I'm not saying do your own research, please. It's very empowering. But I mean, and then this, so Gordon and Mitt, they work together. They work well together, actually, it seems. And whenever Tim Ballard was excommunicated, allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly, because there is a such thing as fake excommunications in the Mormon church, in the LDS church. There just is. I didn't make it up. And I mean, it happened back in Joseph Smith's time. So so these guys work well together. And Gordon Bowen, he was in Russell Ballard's Golden Boy. Okay, well, so is Tim. Tim Ballard is also in the Golden Boy little status there. He's right there with his not his grandpa, wink, wink. and I find that fascinating. I find this really fascinating because I'm like, wait, why do some of them fight, but yet they all have like M. Russell Ballard in common? Like, oh my gosh, where are all my damn pictures? How is this happening? And it intrigues me, like David Levitt with Nicholas Alaverdian, or Arthur Knight, whatever his other 17 names are. And I think that it's all of this. Okay. I really do. I really do. I think this, again, is just the Mormon version of, oh, did he? Oh, he did. He sure did. You know? Because, I mean, again, look at this. Look at that. You know? Who does this? You know? I think Satanists do. I really do. And I'm just being honest with you. I think this is why Tylee and JJ were handled the way they were handled. I think that's why so many people have the kid gloves treatment. I really do. Who do you know? I don't know. I don't know who they know. But it sure is powerful, you know? And then sometimes you got to have your scapegoats. You got to have the, I believe I'm the fall guy, you know? There's always the fall guy. Oh, why did I do that? I made this too. The Book of Ballard. Another testament of Mormon fraud, sexual deviance, and human trafficking, right? A Book of Ballard. And also made this too. This is Melanie's gaydar, her G meter, right? This is what Melanie Pawlowski, this one. I know y'all just miss her face, don't you? Don't you just miss her face? Looks so innocent. How many of you think she's innocent? I mean, true, you know, just I won't hold it against you. I'm just saying. Anyways, it's interesting. And I mean, I love getting Megan's insight on Melanie Pawlowski, you know. I mean, there's Brandon, you know. It's like, okay, what happened here besides Lori? And then what happened to Lori? And what happened to Chad? What made them this way? I think it's a lot of secrecy. I think it's a lot of that, you know. I really do. But let's see. We have this fella right here. He's interesting, isn't he? He's the other golden boy. He is. Here. What his crooked little smile. He is the other little golden boy. Yet him and Gordon don't get along. Okay. I mean, there are I follow Goel, who does investigations in ritual abuse. Okay. I've talked to him on the phone, talked to him about my family's situation, the case, and he knew about it. And, you know, the thing that he was hung up on was the fact that Chad Daybell was a graveyard. He dug graves for a living. He was a sexton. And I'm just like, okay. But I guess I'd already gotten so desensitized to that I was just like, oh yeah, you know? And I mean, he's from Southern Utah, just like this alleged LDS Church of Satan spawns out of. I mean, it's interesting to see that, like, you know, Paris Hilton, I saw her in a video. I mean, yeah, she went after the program or whatever that ABUSE'd her. Okay. As everyone, I mean, that's noble, right? But then she's also attending these things, these parties, and I'm just like, okay, you know, I don't quite, and I'm trying to size it up, and it's very interesting. Now, this guy right here, I forget his name. Oh, I don't have it here, do I? If I can read it. I don't know what that is. Okay, I'll have to look it up and give it to you, because I finally found a guy that okay. Forgot. In all of these situations, okay, you have Gordon, okay, he has a guy, okay. Who mentored Mitt Romney? I'm asking because I've noticed a trend. Another trend is that most of these guys that, you know, end up on our radar, like Diddy had a couple, but one that I can remember off the top of my head is Clive Davis. white guy, no relation, and yet they're just like, oh, here's all my bazillions. I'm just going to pass them on to you, stranger. But are they? Like what's going on here? So Diddy has that one. And then you have, let me get my head on. Then you have Gordon Bowen. I mean, he looked up to M. Russell Ballard. He looked up to President Hinckley. President Hinckley was going to marry him and Barbara Timothy, but President Hinckley did the proclamation to the world speech, and that was really important. He had been waiting to do that. So instead, Elder Faust at the time married him, but Hinckley and Romney's wife, and I guess Hinckley's wife, they seem to match. They are pictured with Gordon Bowen after the ceremony. It was a temple wedding. Gordon was a lot like our little friend Jody Hildebrandt, where I feel like they were like closeted, and this Gordon right here in the yellow, he thought that he had demonic spirit. He thought he like people like Melvin Fish and like Kissy crap, I just forgot her name like that. Kissy Watkins. They would do, and David Hamblin also would do these quote unquote exorcisms, trying to rid the false female spirits that were possessing Gordon Bowen's body, when in all actuality, if they'd have just accepted him for who he was, and or not, in my opinion, I believe that this whole satanic ritual abuse network, this whole diddy and all the things, right? I'm for everybody, but I'm just saying, I'm not saying this creates it, but I'm saying it creates monsters in this sense, this level, this psychopathy. Like it's just out. There's nowhere. I'm just like, what? Okay, they're just so bored with everything. I don't know. It's like where humans become a possession, and they can just, I mean, think about the names that were chosen for Tim Ballard and Russell Ballard's alleged for-profit company, Slave Stealers, LLC. Well, I mean, that's clever. So is the Abolitionist. So is Operation Underground Railroad. That's a real play, right? I mean, come on now. And I mean, I looked up more conspiratorial files, but I looked, I remember seeing something about hip hop connection, with like P. Diddy and them. And like, I'm like, okay, he's he comes from the Brûlée, right? And I mean, I don't know this verbatim, but it's like a different leg of this. That's all this is. It's a different leg of the same animal. And I mean, that sucker has got some legs. And the way these like investigations have taken place and where they've taken place has really, really just fascinated me, in the sense that I'm like, okay, so they were initially like researching. Okay. You don't believe, I don't need, I mean, I do, I don't know. They believe in it, and that's problematic in my opinion, because it's like they are projecting that onto people, I really do think so. Tim Shady, yeah. And you can't spell victim without Tim. You can't. But well, thank you though, Moonlight View. I mean, I appreciate it, because it's like, well, how do we? Because I want to know how to look at this. It's important. It's important to everything that I research. To the situation, kids, Charles, my mom, even. I mean, demonized, right? Given demon names, zombie names, etc. And I mean, they believe in it, and I mean, that's something I had to tell myself a few times. Is these people believe in this, and they go crazy. And I guess that's where I get that's where the religiosity comes from, I guess. Okay. All right. I got to work these things out in my mind. Mitt Romney's wife was Episcopalian and converted to LDS when she married him. As Republicans go, I always thought he was reasonable until I found out he was LDS. Very disappointing. Well, I mean, it's that whole the Constitution's hanging by a thread thing, and I'm just like, is it? Is it though? Are you purposely making some threads, and then dangling them so you can like pounce for it? I think that's like a dog whistle, as is a lot of the things that they say. Just kind of like I was telling you earlier in the stream about how I noticed that brand ambassador. It's something that was used with Mitt Romney. Let me go back over there so I can pull it up. It's on the same slide. Where am I at? Okay. You are here. Let's see. Where's it at? Yeah. And we have the Skull and Bones. Okay. Which, I mean, M. Russell Ballard and President Nelson are in this club. So is George, baby George, little George. So is Big George. I want to know if Tom Harrison is part of this gang here. I don't know. I looked for it one time or Tom Harrison's name on Defending Utah's website, but it's behind it won't tell me, but it just says like there is a lead there, but I'd have to sign up to Patreon. And I mean, I'm Mormonism or bust, I've done it. So it'll have to wait. It'll come out. Let's see. So yeah, where am I going? Looking for Mitty. I mean, he's wealthy too, but it's just this theme. Paul Hutchinson, the alleged billionaire. I don't think he's that rich, but who knows? I haven't looked in a while. So, he always talks about his mentor, Frank Vandersloot, Idaho billionaire, right there from the area where the crimes took place. And here's the recipe to Buddha and king cake. I found it earlier and I was like, oh yeah, I got to make that. And so it's right in the middle of my little thing here. But yeah, this came out of an article and it's Blue and White Ambassadors. Mitt Romney is one of many BYU alums behind the scenes of the 2002 Winter Olympics, which he did with Gordon Bowen, this guy, right? Oh, well, let me get rid of that. Gordon, Mitt, they get along, okay? But according to Goel, he had 6 separate sources that told him, okay, that time whenever Tim Ballard was saying, I didn't get excommunicated, or you know what I mean? My church didn't break up with me. I believe it's because it's alleged that Gordon Bowen is who wrote the Vice on the email of the church that had the church's heading and everything, sent it to Vice News. It was alleged to be this guy right here, Gordon Bowen. So he don't like him some Tim. Okay. And whenever Tim was going to run, Mitt Romney was not trying to be nice to Tim about giving him his Senate seat. Okay. He was just like, kick rocks, basically. And I mean, that's fascinating to me because I'm just like, well, how are you two so immersed with M. Russell Ballard? And then y'all are all 3 kind of under the wing, or were. Anyways, I just find that fascinating. So I'm trying to figure out the dynamics there. I think that there are, again, bloodlines competing. There are bloodlines competing. Okay. They're like, our bloodline is better than your bloodline, Anyway, so let me get back to this. Mitt Romney. Okay. So it says, Fraser Bullock, 78, SLOC's chief operating officer and chief financial officer, engineered the Salt Lake Games financial turnaround. See Marriott School, BYU, EDU, whatever. In addition, former Cougar quarterback Steve Young, right? Heard this name so many times. Chad Daybell wrote about him. Ugh. 84 is the, oh my God, I don't know how to say that. Titular head of the thousands of Olympic volunteers and will MC the presentation of gold, silver, and bronze medals each night. Anyways, there's the Nor Jasmine video. Here's the link right here. Let me grab it and I'll paste it in the chat. Thank y'all for being so patient with me. It's kind of everywhere, I know. But that is Nor Jasmine on this guy and his friend David Hamblin. And then this is the other guy that goes in there like swimwear. Okay. So I don't know where to go. I told y'all it was not in order. Oh, I do want to show this to you because this does go with tonight. Okay. So this is interesting, in my opinion. I'm going to tell you what I saw after we watch it. This is Nate Eaton going into Chad Daybell's house.
Over here, this was the garage / shed area that was talked about. Here's one of the buildings.
Hello.
I don't know what this would be used for, but
some horses.
In here was the garage where the tools were and where the police searched. And
pay attention.
This, you can see that the cement needs repair, but this was where the tools were kept. And we go in here. The new owners tell me that when they came, this said Spring Creek Books. This may have been where they stored the books and kind of ran the business. There was signs and it was stacked with books.
Did y'all catch that? Do you see that little sign right there?
Stored the book.
Oh, okay. Right here. Let me enlarge it. And let me slide over. Ray's Playpen. Look, I didn't catch this till today. So I'm behind everybody else who caught it before me. Because I was going to catch a clip of the other poster. And I was like, who the hell is Ray? And why is he haunting us? Okay. Ray is sus, in my opinion. I'm like, who the hell is Ray? Who is Ray? And why is it his playpen? Okay. What's really going on? What really used to go on, because it's no longer going on there. Okay, so let me go back. I mean, I'm going to let it go to where I was going.
Books and kind of ran the business.
Initially.
There was signs and it was stacked with books. And an interesting sign that was here, probably from before Chad's time.
Abracadabra?
This
why would
is
it be
calf heaven idea is to preserve life. It is not easy, but a fun challenge. God be with us. Thanks. I don't know what that means, but the owners tell us that this sign was over there. And when they came, it was moved. So I don't know. And then when you go out this door, so this was.
Yeah, I backed it up. That's just me.
I don't know what
earlier.
Is to.
I just don't know what to. I didn't catch the Ray thing.
Where the tools were and where the police searched. And this.
Instead of concrete the damn chicken coop, why didn't they concrete that?
Where the tools were kept. And we go in here. The new owners tell me that when they came, this said Spring Creek Book.
Oh, that was earlier. And then I'm like, it's not me right now. It's just me earlier when I recorded it.
Books.
I act like everybody can't see. Like here. Not so much here, but more here. You know, okay. I over exaggerate.
And kind of ran the business.
Dramatic.
There was signs and it was stacked with books. And an
I looked everywhere for a
sign
Spring Creek
probably
logo.
from before Chad's time.
I googled this.
This is calf heaven idea is to preserve.
I Googled that little, this is calf heaven. Okay. Right when he first went through there, and I was like, oh, you know, and I Googled it, and I'm going to go catch
life. It is not easy, but a fun challenge. God be with us. Thanks. I don't know what that means, but the owners tell us that this sign was over there.
Bippity boppity
And
boo.
when they came, it was moved.
Ruh-roh. Okay, so I mean, this is I just typed in this is calf heaven, and I mean it just says like cow heaven, amazing little calf, photography. You know, what is the meaning behind the two-headed calf poem? I bet you emerging photon could really fill us in on this. But what is the meaning behind the two-headed calf poem? It's a poem. Two-headed calf encourages readers to reflect on the concept of acceptance. In a world that often prizes conformity, the poem advocates for embracing diversity and acknowledging the beauty in our differences. The calf, despite its genetic deformity, stands as a symbol of resilience and adaptability. I just don't feel like that fits this scenario, but maybe. Let's see. In the Bible, it's the calf symbolizes bull and calves were a traditional animal sacrifice. Now, this fits in that time and symbolized strength and fertility. Many gods in Egypt were fashioned after bulls, so the golden calf was a natural choice for the Israelites coming out of Egypt. The golden calf represented God's power for having delivered the Israelites from Egypt. Okay. What is the calf in Exodus? The story of the golden calf is found in Exodus 32 in the Bible. When Moses was away for too long, the Israelites asked Aaron to make them a new god. He took their golden earrings and made a golden calf from them. The golden calf was an idol that the people worshipped instead of real God. But what I came across on my phone is way different than what I'm coming across here. So I went to books because I don't know, more like solid, not just some article, more books, and it brought me to the heavenly I don't know how to say it, arcana, and I was like, well, this really does seem to fit. Now, whether it does or not, I don't know. That's up for interpretation. But just when you read that sign, it's weird. It stood out, and that's why I Googled it, that little blurb. That's all I can remember because y'all know how short-term my memory is. I'm like, what? I mean, heavenly things in their order were represented by bread, cakes, and wafers, things unleavened. That's symbolic. Bread, of which the bread offering consisted on the altar, together with the burnt offering and sacrifice, signifies the purification of the celestial man in his inmost, cake in his internal, and wafer in the external. Cakes the good of, oh my gosh, let me make this larger instead of squinting. Okay, let me just skip down. Oh, no. Cakes the good of love in general, to make cakes to the queen of heaven, to worship the devil from the good of celestial love. I think that it tells you in the beginning of the book what it signifies, and I think it's celestial. A cake of barley. Oh, wait. To worship the devil from the good. Okay, I already said that. Celestial love. A cake of barley with the excrement of man, the interior good of the church, defiled with the evils of the love of self, with the dung of an ox, external good of the church, defiled. This don't make. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. It don't make sense. External good of the church defiled with the evils of that love. And so this is like definitions. Okay, Caleb, calf, came to pass, camel. Okay, you see what I'm saying? And it's a long book. Maybe it's not. 2 of 11. Huh. On page 27. I'm lost. So, I mean, candlestick, Canaanites. It's I don't really know. I don't even know what it is. Is it witchcraft? But I mean, I don't want to get into that subject because I don't know. It's just I googled that term, looked in books. This is where it brought me. Cave. I mean, different meanings, different different strokes for different folks, you know. And they're definitely. I mean, while I can find it all day, inverted, okay, in scriptural writing. I mean, it's like there. I'm like, oh man, no wonder, you know, it's not what I sought out to see, but it's like, what are they getting out of this? You know, what are they getting out of Visions of Glory even? And then it's like you just kind of have to try to see it through their lens, you know, like what there's the Visions of Glory sucks. It's a shitty book. Don't buy it. Okay. It's horrible. It's horrible. Look, chaos. Things in chaos before order. Okay. Cerebrum, see brain. Ceremonies of Jews and worship of strange gods were evil. Of Romans were from ancient church. Chaff in the parable signifies that in which there is nothing of good. Okay. So negative. Charity. I want to look up joy, right? I should, with them two heifers that were just talking about it like they knew every damn thing, right? Oh, egg. I just found egg. I don't want to read it. Egg right here. Y'all remember what egg? The egg text. I'm just saying. Okay, here we go. When a man is regenerating, spiritual life proceeds from whatever age, which he runs through as from an ovum or egg. The soul in the, I don't even know what a ovum, and in the womb forming the body. I don't even know what that means. Could mean nothing. Cain and Abel. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Let me scooch. Let me try and get a J. I'm sure I could just look it up right here. Instead of making everybody dizzy. Joy. Oh, what the heck? No. We wanted to find it in the book. Oh, I see. My bad. It's my first day. Where are we at? Catch up. Peace offering. Oh, we passed it up. Pass it up. J, N. Okay. Ooh, let's go to name. Hold on. Shortcut. Pit stop. Name. Name and calling by name signifies to know the quality of a thing. To call on the name of Jehovah signifies all worship. When any one is named in the word, the man of the church is signified and what is of the church. To make a name signifies to get the reputation of power. Also glory. Well, Chad, you just get Lori. Joke's on you. Just kidding. To get the reputation of power, also glory. Expressions and names do not penetrate into heaven. Correct. We can agree on that. Spirits with their speech cannot even utter any name. How elegant the internal sense of the word is, although there be nothing but mere names. The next one says, the Lord's divine human is the name of Jehovah, the name of God, everything in one aggregate by which God is worshipped, thus quality. This is just a rigmarole, you know? All right, back to joy. Happy, joy. Happy, joy. Do y'all remember Ren and Sippy? Tell me you do. Sometimes at the end of these things, I feel like plucking my eyebrows out like they did, you know? they did some really wicked stuff. Okay, J. Oh my gosh, no. The book is coming to get me. Okay. That's probably telling me to move on. Let's see. Let me do this again. We're in lust. Oh my gosh, come on now. Extreme, right? What the heck? Screw it. I don't even want to know anymore. I don't even want to know. Let me grab this link. And so if anybody wants to, where to go? Okay. I'm going to get off of this because it's doing some really weird shit with my, you do? With my computer. It like won't, oh, I see my Wi-Fi signal's on. Uh-oh. They are so obsessed with power, Ravina. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you, Kayla. Sicking their souls with it, bathing in it. Like, it reminds me of that Beyonce song, Drunk in Love. You know, ovum like a reproductive egg. I was like, ovulate, thinking of all that, but I tend to think out loud like an idiot. Yeah, interesting. Two heifers. They are some heifers and hookers. Heifers and hookers all day, every day. Oh, I see. I'm sitting here mashing down on my keyboard with my hand on my space bar. And so that's why my computer is active. Man, I'm getting old. I'm a boomer now. Straight up showing you my boom leaks all day, every day. All right, let's go back over here real quick. So this is the little poem right here, or whatever that was on the wall. Actually, I have it bigger. This is calf heaven. Ideal is to preserve life. It is not easy, but a fun challenge. I mean, right? No, it just don't even sound right. Ideal is to preserve life. I mean, not on Chad Daybell's wall. Okay. It does not sit right with me on Chad damn Daybell's wall. Did y'all know that Chad's middle name was Damn? You're welcome. This is calf heaven. Ideal is to preserve life. However, it is not easy. It didn't say however, but it is not easy, but a fun challenge. Ew. Hold on. Fun times. Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't, for what it's worth, that just triggered into my head. Fun times. He even wrote that in his book. Fun times. He's not even funny. How could you have fun times with Chad? Damn Daybell. You can't. God be with us. Thanks. That's quoted. Yeah. What is the meaning behind the two-headed? Okay, I already said that. Okay. So then the whole while going to grab a clip of Nadine's walkthrough of the Daybell home and property, I noticed something else even more peculiar. Ray's playpen. Really? Really? Who is this Ray referring to? In the Daybell trial, Detective Ray Hermosillo revealed that Alex occasionally used the name Ray. Oh, I did that wrong. Furthermore, during a disturbing jail call, which was presented as evidence and occurred just a day before law enforcement apprehended the doomsday duo, Lori and Chad. Well, I say apprehended, but, busted, never to be trusted kind of thing. Were heard communicating in code using the name Ray. So what does this all mean? And I wonder what excuse will come flying from the rumor mill in order to keep inquiring minds from looking any deeper. Just saying. And so there's her saying no one was murdered here, right? Well, I don't even want to do that. Okay, so this makes me want to jump. Yeah, I got to jump back to the beginning. I told y'all, it's not in order. Okay. And so, oh yeah, we started here. Let me take these dudes off. All right, so I was just kind of copying and pasting these little excerpts or whatever that we got from Tim Ballard, anything to do with like Tim Ballard's filings or case details. So what I did was I have this app, this editing tool where you can take and I'm trying to show you. You can do magic grab text or whatever, and it'll grab the text off the page, and then that way I can clean it up. It's so, it just lets me tinker around with things until I am like, aha. Okay. And I have a lot of aha moments, but this is the same thing as that. This one was interesting to me because it's the first one. I was like, what? Okay, so Liberty 89, Elder Ballard. This is Sherston Stockwell, and this is her. This was from Troy Rawlings, from Davis County, the prosecuting attorney. Okay, that, I mean, not only is he one of his cases about the Hamblin whole LDS Church of Satan thing over there, but also and Russell. Well, Tim and them. Sherston said Tim took her to a meeting in her official OUR work capacity to meet with people at Thanksgiving Point. The people at the meeting included Tom Harrison, Ken Krogh, Hugh Vale, and Tim Ballard. Sherston said they claimed to have visions and special intelligence of the second coming. I mean, I'm like, whoa, my radar, my flags, red flags, everything's just jolting out of my body right now, because it's like, that's kind of like what Lori was saying, I'm like, I'm okay. Sherston said that because she had shared some spiritual things and Tim found out about it, Tim, could share with her the more secret things that Tim, involved in. I know it's a little confusing. The more secret things that I'm involved in, says Tim. Sherston said during this meeting, they spoke about Liberty 89, America being a fallen nation, Constitution hanging by a thread, and how it was Tim's, quote, calling, unquote, to do these things with OUR and restoring America to the covenant. Now, it's not a prophecy, but it's a calling. So who gave him his calling? It's like same crap they tried to say about Lori until it gets public. Then they're like, oh, no. They're trying to build a whole invisible church right here on this lot right here. Okay. David Warwick, testified to, he showed me an invisible church of the firstborn. I'm tired of the church of the firstborn, that whole dupe. Okay. Because it's worked go check out Ervil LeBaron. Okay. It's the church of the firstborn, of whatever. There's like a lot of add-ons with that one, but it's the same concept. And I believe that I've read it in a few places already. People who have, come from this background, because they speak a whole lot better than I do. But like on Facebook, they left a whole post on like, okay, Rod Meldrum here, and they talk about Mike Stroud and kind of like who all these people are and how they play into this. And the thing about this, and I remember the blurb out of it, was that the Church of the Firstborn is a title. And it tracks with everything that I have researched. Again, it's that double-edged sword where I got to kind of dance on both sides of it, because not everybody's like, I'm not saying I'm not special. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, I really have for the last 5 years, every single day of my last 5 years, I have, as you can see, I have immersed myself into this. Okay. And so I'm just saying, maybe I look at it too damn close. There's that. But everything adds up to it being, it could be this way too, secret society way. And so you can't have this many people talking about the same wacky stuff and them not even be part of the same movement. Like I know a lot of people are like, what does Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell have to do with Tim Ballard? What does Ruby Frankie have to do with Jody Hildebrandt and with Tom Harrison and Chad and Lori and Julie and the whole movement? Okay. That I look at this thing like it's an asteroid, or I don't know what else to think of right now, but an asteroid. Have you ever seen that movie Armageddon? I don't want to close my eyes. Right. Okay. And so that asteroid's just spinning towards Earth or whatever. And until I find a better metaphor or analogy, and there's pieces of the asteroid just flying off of it, right? Well, those pieces hit Earth too. Those pieces do damage too. And I look at this entire movement as if it were, there's this the main point of it, like the cover, everything that Lori and Chad, Ruby and Jody and others, Julie Rowe, all these, it can also, they can be viewed also as a distraction, kind of like with P. Diddy. I'm like, well, what are they just dangling this in front of us so that we aren't paying attention to some other, are they signing over our lives or something? What's going on? Like, don't ever get complacent, look at everything. But I mean, I just feel like Lori and Chad, their crimes are just part of this asteroid heading straight for us. No doomsday. I'm just saying, like, it's just, and that's the impact. That is what they're trying to get through, so that they can create their new world that's not going to be of order. Okay. It'll be opposite of order. But so this is where, again, follow me, please. So I just think of that asteroid. I think of Lori and Chad's crimes, it's spinning and spinning. And then they're just a huge damage. I mean, it's damaging, trust me, but there's also this other thing that's still going forth, if that makes sense. So anyways, okay, it says that Sherston said that because she had shared some spiritual things and Tim found out about it, Tim could share with her the more secret things that Tim is involved in. Sherston said during this meeting they spoke about Liberty 89 and restoring America to the covenant, which the covenant is a united order. Okay, Joseph Smith wrote about it, all kinds of things. It's interesting. It's also like, it really resembles the law of consecration. Just saying. Okay, so Sherston said restoring America to the covenant was, quote, a big mission of Tim's, and he was called of God to do this. Sherston said Tim was very verbal. Tim was very verbal about Elder Russell Ballard's involvement and behind it, but Sherston said she didn't know if she believed that. This is what Sherston said. Tim would say that M. Russell Ballard is a part of Liberty 89. Tim would tell us that, but Hugh was there and Hugh was an employee. So it would be more employees than just me. So it wasn't just me as an employee. It was also Hugh Vale. But Hugh Vale is also like a board member of a couple of other things. So, he's easier on the eyes, but don't let him get past you. And so, like, right here, just a little summary. Oh wait, that's not for that. I'm so sorry. So right here, this one says, Sergeant Luke asked if Sherston was ever asked to go and meet with any high-ranking LDS church members. It didn't say leaders, they said members. Sherston says that she did. Sherston said she met with M. Russell Ballard privately with Tim Ballard, with another general authority, Elder Ronald Rasband, who is over the Haiti area. Interesting, right? That's Tim's area. His favorite, one of his favorites. Sherston stated she met with Elder Russell Ballard and Tim Ballard privately at an OUR function. Okay, so sounds like, okay, 1, 2, 3 lines, and we're meeting up with them quite a bit. Sherston said she did meet with Elder Rasband in the church office building in a conference room with Tim Ballard himself. I'm sorry, she is hard to follow with her, the way they wrote it. Sherston said she did meet with Elder Rasband in the church office building in a conference room with Tim Ballard, herself, Jerry Gowan, and Jessica Mass. Sherston said she was in a few private meetings with Elder Russell Ballard, not as a private church meeting, but he would come to an OUR event and they would meet in a VIP meeting. However, Tim met with Elder Ballard once a month, at least, right? Let's see. Then, yeah, that's the one I rewrote. Okay, I suck at this. I'm sorry. So what do we learn from this? Summary, meeting overview. Sherston attended a meeting at Thanksgiving Point with Tim Ballard, Tom Harrison, Ken Krogh, and Hugh Vale. The meeting involved discussions on visions and intelligence regarding the second coming. I mean, that is pretty profound. Okay. It's very specific and very unique to the situation. And I feel like everybody just glosses right by it and just doesn't care. Not you guys, but you know what I mean? Like the rest of them. Tim's calling and mission. Tim Ballard shared his belief that he is called by God to restore America to a covenant. He even wrote a book, 2 books, really, because the first one was American Covenant, and it was aimed towards what? Who? LDS members. Okay, well, that's very specific, and it's only like 1 and whatever % of the American or of the global population. So, think bigger. And so M. Russell Ballard even helped him allegedly write that book, American Covenant, and rewrite it and appeal to a more broader Christian audience, which, I mean, you can kind of see the theme of how everything's going in the church, in my opinion, with how they're changing Google Maps, with how they are switching it out for Moroni and putting a cross there. Mormons were always taught not to do the cross thing. Okay. It just is what it is. And I mean, if you think about it, Mormonism, I remember hearing this from Tim Kosnoff, the attorney that went after Boy Scouts of America, and he was part of that movement and did all the lawsuits and everything, of as many as they could settle, but he said on Mormon Stories podcast with John DeLynn that the interesting thing about the LDS Church is they could cross brand because they didn't use crosses. And so in that sense, in that period of time, they were able to use the Angel Moroni and put it on actual Boy Scout items, not merchandise, but, and so the Catholic Church couldn't do that. And so it's just like, okay, membership has its privileges. That's what, what's his face said? I forget his name right off the bat. But anyways, and so it's interesting to see how this movement is kind of feeding into this narrative. And if you really kind of look at the bigger plan, if you look at the bigger landscape, you can see how seems to be this. I'm looking at this group right here in front of me, Tim and company. I'll just say Tim and companies, and how they are geared up and using OUR, Operation Underground Railroad, is like proselytizing, trying to draw new members into the church, which just so happened to be what M. Russell Ballard was over. It's just like being a missionary, basically, except it's like 2.0 or 6.0. It's hyperspeed, and I mean, I get it. I don't knock them for this, but I just knock them for this with this much damage and this many lies and this much dumbfuckery. It's just a lot of victims in the wake, a lot of ruses, a lot of excuse making, a lot of this and not enough action. It's like they're not real ruse. I mean, they're not real rescues, and I mean, millions of dollars have lined these dudes' pockets on and it's like the Mormon church all over again. It's like the Catholic Church all over again. It's like people abusing and using other people all over again. And because I think that maybe we just want to stand firm in what we believe in and just double down on that. Like Megan was sharing with us the other night, like Mormons just tend to like double down on that, and just really hold on to their beliefs. And I mean, it's not going to do you any good, like it's more harm, and it sucks. It's okay to be wrong. And you're just wrong for this long and you correct it, Lori and Melanie, send them a message. But I mean, feeding into these people's egos is you're hurting them. Okay. That's another way to look at it. I mean, I looked at like Tim whenever when we heard that he was so-called or allegedly excommunicated, I was like, that's the best damn thing that could ever happen to him. But then, he's always up to something, ain't he? He over there knocking on the Catholics' doors, wearing medallions and stuff. And I'm just like, you just have to have that, guys, can't you? It would be interesting to see him. There's no Nephi over there. It's a boys' club. It is a good old boys' club. They dabble in religion wherever it suits them, in my opinion. That's just me. But anyway, so it just seems geared up and lined up with what the church is doing, like taking the jab. I mean, I get it. Do you, boo? I'm just saying, as kind of, I mean, I have this whole paper that I read not long ago, and I'd love to share it with y'all. Not tonight, but it's about how Mormons were so anti-legal. And I mean, I was like, oh, yes, yes, yes. But that's just the way it was. That, I mean, it's a different time, you know? I mean, my grandparents are way different than I am today. You know, again, we'll be the only grandparents I know talking about a Cadillac on 4 flats, and you know what I'm saying, like the rap music and the with all our tattoos and our slang talk. My grandma didn't talk like this. You know, it's just a different time. And, you know, hey, give them hell. But anyways, I don't know. I see it. Maybe not from that, but okay, there's scrolling bones. And then, okay, 77 says, Ken Krogh shared these visions with President Ballard, who was meeting regularly with Tim Ballard to help him develop his quote, unquote, business goals. 78, upon information and belief, President Ballard and or Ken Krogh used, this is either M. Russell Ballard or Ken Krogh, used psychic Janet Russin for readings to advise them of how they should proceed in all aspects of their lives. 79, some witnesses have claimed that Janet Russin was President Ballard's personal psychic. Y'all remember there was a psychic named Lori too, that she just kind of faded out into the back? I would like to know more about this Lori chick, this Lori psychic. Okay. And that President Ballard vouched for her psychic powers. He is a prophet, seer, and revelator, a leader in the church, allegedly back when he was alive. And he was allegedly, according to this, saying that he vouched for her psychic powers whenever people would question Ballard about using a psychic as his only source of locating trafficked children. That's a little misleading there, because I'm just like, well, which Ballard are we talking about? President Ballard vouched for psychic powers, or baby Ballard about using a psychic? Or did he vouch for him? Yeah. Okay, number 80. President Ballard, Tim Ballard, and others formed a private business, the defendant slave stealers in the lawsuit, okay, with its principal place of business being in President Ballard's son-in-law's offices. That's Brad Brower. Right? Yeah. Right? Oh, I'm having brain connection. Where the Ballards and other investors could monetize the purported work that OUR was performing. And you can just take that out, because you know Tim left there because it would behoove him to have left there. If not, he'd have burned it down, basically, I think. So to me, it's a hiccup in the plan, if you know what I'm saying. So basically just replace that with the Spear Fund, because that's what's going on. And I mean, Tim claims that he can't be rescuing children. Okay, well, it's no different than before. Okay, I'm sorry, but it's no different, because stay home. That's how you guys can rescue the children, in my opinion. You're welcome. Okay. The purported work that OUR was performing using the missionary program of the Mormon Church, as a template, and the Mormon Church networks as fundraising assembly lines. I mean, that kind of sounds like you could maybe term that another way. And could it be laundering? I mean, I'm just asking. I don't know what an alternative word would be. Okay, 79. Some witnesses have claimed that Janet Russin was... Okay, let's see. We're doing some do-overs here. On behalf of... Hold on, let me go back to the other one. See where we're at. 80. Let me go 81, 82. 81. President Ballard leaned on his wealthy, tithing-paying friends and pressured his peers in the Quorum of the 12 and 70 for significant donations to slave stealers to use. What do they do? Because they really don't do much. I've looked at their 10 their 990s and all that. Just like Liberty 89. Not much of anything. There's some interesting stories, though. Speaking of pilgrims and stuff, on behalf of slave stealers, Ballard would go out and produce sizzle through his several videos of faux, I didn't write that, faux rescues in dangerous looking situations, and then sell them to OUR, the Nazarene Fund, which is TNF, and now the Spear Fund. Okay. Making it look like it was all being done on behalf of his nonprofit companies. They got to have some kind of proof to be printing this. When in fact, it was to line his pockets and the pockets of President Ballard and the other owners of Slave Stealers, LLC. So you can pencil in for sure. I remember allegedly like 2 or 3 other general authorities throwing in on that deal. They're not supposed to be doing this, according to their own rules. President Ballard sanctioned the couple's ruse. The couple's ruse is James and Elena. Okay? It's the same thing. So do you see what I'm saying about that? If President Ballard is sanctioning this couple's ruse, saying that it's okay to say that we were married before in a previous life. Okay. Either Chad was ordained by President Ballard or if this is so just, that's not our belief. That's not our belief. I hear that all the time. I've heard that for 5 years. And I'm like, well, obviously it's somewhere in there. Okay. So don't just put a label on it and mark it as, unsafe. Something's going on here, and help me get to the bottom of this, because this is some bullshit. Grown people acting like this too. Kids and innocent spouses are red rummed over this belief, this sanctioned belief or practice is hurting people. President Ballard allegedly sanctioned the couple's ruse. President Ballard went on Ballard American History tours in order to prop up. Oh, of course. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I know I need to wrap it up because I'm getting hungry. 284. 80. Oh gosh. Okay. Do I not have these written down? Let's see. Yeah. Upon information and belief, President Ballard and other leaders from the Mormon Church asked Tim Ballard to write a book. So they asked him to write a book, declaring that the word of wisdom is not true. And that the word of wisdom is the Mormon Church's health code that forbids its members from drinking alcohol or coffee or just hot stuff, right? Depending on who you ask. 86. President Ballard has cited Tim Ballard, okay, to students at Brigham Young University, Idaho, BYUI, as an expert of Book of Mormon prophet Nephi and the Mormon view of American history, which is skewed like a mofo. It is skewed bad. Like I remember looking at some of his writings. I need to dive into Tim Ballard's books. Oh my God, I don't know if I can handle it. I'd rather watch paint dry. With Chad and everything. Good God. This is what happens when you have a society who has 7th and 8th place awards and stuff. Okay. You're special. No, you're talented. And then they end up like Chad Daybell and Tim Ballard over here. Just saying. All right. They're like, I'm special. And Lori, Jody too, Ruby too, all of them. Ruby do. All right. 87. Ballard has spoken to many Mormon church groups across the country, including athletic teams at Brigham Young University. I remember there's some kind of stink over that. 88. Ballard's enmeshment with the Mormon Church. Y'all know it's not a good enmeshment. That's bad when it's enmeshed. That means boundaries they don't even consider boundaries. Okay, so it's everywhere in your life. And crisscrosses. And its leader. Okay, hold on. Ballard's enmeshment with the Mormon Church and its leadership further provided him credibility and status in Utah, where the Mormon Church is the largest and founding denomination of the state. Correct. We're getting there. Ballard believed that a special witness, this is Lori Daybell, all day, every day, twice on Sundays. 89. Ballard believed that a special witness of Jesus Christ was giving him direct instruction from Christ himself. Okay, we even heard it not too long ago in her whatever interview, her Blame Fest last Sunday, basically, right? Last Sunday, October 6th is when the interview came out with Colby and his mom, Lori. She is still clinging to this belief, and she also claims that Lucifer Caesar came and visited her too. So there's that. Anyways, but she knows it all, right? And Tim knows it all. Plus he's got guys like Tom Harrison and Ken Krogh giving him priesthood blessings, allegedly. Putting their hands on his head and saying, Tim, you're going to be the future president of the United States. Tim, you're going to be the future prophet of the Mormon church. Again, there's this crisscross applesauce idea of church and state. Okay, because what is he, the Antichrist? Because he can't be all. Just throwing that in there, because you can't be the president and the prophet. Please, that's not a challenge. Okay, he would be a prophet of the church and president of the United States, which emboldened him. You don't say. What? All that power went to his head? All that ego? Oh my God, he's tripping on it. Which emboldened him to conduct the couple's ruse, which was not used to find children, but was a ruse to commit sexual assault of his couple's ruse partners. Ladies, salute y'all. In fact, after a drunken Tim Ballard went to plaintiff Kira Lynch's earmuffs, trigger warning, went to plaintiff Kira Lynch's home late at night and bleeped her on the stairs. He called President Ballard and confessed to what he had done. President Ballard did not tell Tim Ballard to go to the police and report his horrible act. Rather, President Ballard told Ballard to do better at obeying the couple's ruse rules. I would love to see the rules on this. Can you even imagine? It'd be like the rules on the second anointing. They'd have to give away a secret. Anyways, it's sacred. 93. Despite the very public distancing of the Mormon church from Tim Ballard, public. On or around September 2023, the Mormon church continues to promote OUR. For example, on October 15, 2023, OUR's president, Defendant Osborne, gave a fireside on grooming tactics, extortion schemes, and other matters in the New Braunfels, 2nd Ward in Texas. Okay. Come on. Okay, here it is. Finally, I made it. Damn. You made it. We made it. All right. Sherston. And we're going back to Sherston. Okay, my bad. Sherston says, I do want to talk about aftercare for a second because Jessica Mass. And I just watched a thing. My TV turned to it automatically, automatic, whatever. Play the next video. And it was Jessica Mass and it was Relentless Hope. Which, I thought that, again, I don't know. They could be. But I was always under the assumption that Relentless Hope was for SRA victims, But, again, even the, what do you call that? The Cult Awareness Network, even they were ended up, there's these groups that form because it's just like Tim Ballard forming a so-called anti- human trafficking eradicator. They're going to eradicate and do such a noble deed. Okay, yet they're not. They're actually, in my opinion, and according to a lot of others in these papers, that everything is exploited. Everything from your dollars to the reason that they're doing it to the so-called victims that there's just no regulation on it. They claim jumps that they don't even do, but if they give somebody money, they're like, oh, how many you got? 8. Okay, we got 8. Make that 18. And it's very, And I mean, here we get the product of The Sound of Freedom, which is the movie that came out that is basically propaganda. Okay. Because it's not at all what human trafficking looks like. Yeah. It's a sad movie. Yeah. It touches the heart. I mean, they'll make you another one. Didn't they already do that already? There's always some movie being made, and you just have to be careful. And it's not real life, it's just, I mean, Tim Ballard, he's not even a CIA, whatever. Anyways, there's a whole lot of dupery here. And I mean, there's no need for slippery slopes and Diddy's baby oil, because it's slippery enough over here. Okay. We'll leave it over there with Diddy on the east side. Okay. All right, back to this. Sherston could not understand why a company as large as OUR had Jessica Mass in the position that she was in. Sherston said that in March of 2017, she believed that was the year OUR was invited to the United Nations as a guest. And that's where this United Families, it was not capitalized. I capitalized that and underlined it and put it red. So it was just like, blurb, again, I know what United Nations is, but do I know it well? No. So I Googled this little term here, United Families, and I was like, holy shit. Okay. So let me go to it. We're just going to skip real quick. United Families International, UFI, is a United States nonprofit organization founded in 1978, year I was born, by Susan Roylance. UFI works on an international scale to influence public policy. Well, I mean, that's what Tim went to school for. And that's what Janet Russin does. She writes policies. Did y'all know that? Yeah. It's interesting when you really see what's going on behind what it's a cover. It's a ruse. It's a ruse. It's a ruse, all right. UFI has, I'm sorry, hold on. UFI works on an international scale, to influence public policy toward, quote, maintaining and strengthening the family. Sounds a lot like the strengthening members thing I couldn't remember earlier. Committee. UFI has NGO status with ECOSOC. I forget what that means. It has one of the 6 principal organs of the United Nations responsible for coordinating. Okay, blah. Okay, and works to spread their opinion to United Nations. Ambassadors, brand ambassadors, anybody? Crush is not so crazy. I'm just saying, no, I'm not. Just consider it. Put a pin in that. Brand ambassadors. And I didn't even go far into that because I'm taking too long. But it's said a lot. There's Aubrey Marcus. Am I saying that right? Aubrey Marcus, I think is his name. He's even considered a brand ambassador. And there's a 2016 whiteboard meeting with Ken Krogh that I have that I still need to share with y'all. I suck. And in that 2-hour video, and I mean, this is basically a precursor or a little glimpse we can take into how the secret 2019 whiteboard meeting went. Okay. Where, I mean, that Lynn Packer is who brought that to light. He dubbed it the whiteboard meeting, the secret whiteboard meeting. And I dubbed it the secret whiteboard prophecy because it is what it is. I mean, it fits, sometimes they don't ride it on horses. Sometimes they're nerds sitting in a damn smelly room targeting people and how to proselytize. And in my opinion, allegedly all of this. Okay. So I forgot about that ambassadors thing right there. Anyways, it says, and works to spread their opinion to United Nations, UN ambassadors, and delegates on family-related issues. UFI also operates a website, defendmarriage.org. Now, is this related to defendutah.org? I'm asking. They are listed by the Southern Poverty Law Center as an anti-gay hate group. Okay? But are supported by and in agreement with significant portions of the Christian Conservative Coalition. That don't even sound right. Anyways, history, United Families, and I'm not going to read too much of this. United Families International was founded in 1978 by Susan Roylance of Washington State and Jan Clark of South Carolina. The group actively promotes what it believes are, quote, traditional family values, unquote, internationally, nationally, and locally. Oh, yeah. UFI under Roy Lance was actively involved in promoting, quote, traditional family values, unquote, at the Beijing conference in the mid-90s. Roy Lance characterized the conference as a, quote, wake-up call for those who believe the traditional family unit to be an important basic unit of society, unquote. So what I'm getting, and I mean, again, I'm not real well versed in all this, but I get like I can stick my toe in the water and kind of feel the temperature. And so that's just kind of how I am in everything. Okay. I can read headlines and kind of figure it out, I'm not saying, I'm just, I have a little common sense. Not always, not everywhere, but it just really seems like this whole NWO type of thinking, this accelerationalist, where they're wanting to speed up and bring upon the second coming of, quote unquote, Jesus Christ, which is not the same. It's inverted. You have to invert that term and know that it is not of the light Lord. Okay. It is of the dark Lord and the dark arts. And it's the same with these people, how there's death, destruction, divorce, death again, because it's a death cult, basically. And I know I don't usually use the word cult besides in my name, difficult research, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not good to tell somebody that they are an alcoholic or that they're a narcissist or that they're in a cult. It's not very constructive. So basically what I think this is them. And I mean, Tim has attended UN meetings, and it's like that's it's like, in my opinion, from again, ignorance, straight ignorance. I feel like they are just creating the inner workings of this new government or this new order or this new world, this Jerusalem, this new Jerusalem, this whole idea. And I mean, whether Chad and Lori know that or not, or whether any of these idiots know that or not, they are damn sure ringing it in. Okay. And they are trying to bring it on, in my opinion. And so whatever that is for them, they believe in it. And I mean, if you take a look around, there's some things that are actively like going on and you're like, And so it's interesting to see how these investigations are going on, especially with HSI, Homeland Security investigation, how they were investigating David Levitt, still are for all I know. And he was their target. Okay. Not so much Gordon Bowen, not so much Tim Ballard. Well, no, let me get out of that one. Okay. Take Tim out of that equation. But they were investigating David Levitt out of Hamblin and Gordon Bowen. That's the three right there. Okay. But they were going after David Levitt. David Levitt has ties to Ukraine with Viktor Yushchenko. They're talking about setting up buffalo trade and trading buffalo. Okay. While he's sitting there procuring a child who's not even his, who, if you go watch Nora Jasmine's channel where she did the video on David Levitt, she has some really good tapes I've never heard. I'm like, what? You can actually hear one of the little girl, Alyssa Fishing Hawk. That's who Alessandra, I think. Where, I mean, yeah, she's got all that. Just go there. But David Levitt is arguing with the girl's uncle, the baby's uncle, and he's like, well, I mean, I just don't think you should walk up on this tribe and just, or, walk up on my land and just take over like you're going to take my niece. And he's like, David Levitt is like, I promise you I'm going to teach her more about her native heritage than you would. And I'm just like, he is very, 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 like, I mean, that's ass whooping territory right there. Like, you walked into my circle, man, and you talking that slap. Oh my God. I mean, he's very egotistical, but there's a lot of things I have never heard. And here I am orbiting, right? Out of control. But so thank God for other people digging into this, because I'd have never seen that side, or it had taken me even longer. But so, HSI is investigating. I'm looking at all the angles. And then you have HSI even was, I don't know if they still are, but they were looking into Tim Ballard. Okay. And so you have over there on the East Coast and West Coast, and I mean, he kind of goes everywhere. I mean, before that, you had Mr. Jeffrey of the Isle, if you know what I mean, who also had a mogul mentor. Okay, just like Frank Vandersloot, just like Paul Hutchinson, just like Tim, and I don't know about Mitt Romney at Gordon Bowen. I mean, there's all these mentors who they're not related to, yet they just are like, oh, here's all my millions. I mean, with Frank Vandersloot, it was two Ball brothers who got him started late in life. I mean, he was a convert to the church. So was Gordon Bowen. He converted to the church when he was 22. I'm not saying all of them are, but I'm just saying it's just interesting to me because it's like, why did that person, not even Mormon related at all, but why did Clive Davis entrust so much with Diddy? And so, like what is going on? And is this like Big Brother, Big Sister program 6.0, like accelerated? I mean, what's going on? Anyways, that's just something I've kind of noticed that had a pattern to it. Anyways, but I just think they're trying to bring this on. And I think that people are actively working to change. I mean, Bewitched, chime in, clap right now, sister. I'm sure you already have. But with the whole writing new policies and getting them passed, you just have to, I don't know much about politics. Oh my God, except it divides a lot of people. But if we can see, I mean, just open our eyes to don't worship anybody. Okay. I have a problem. I have a hard time like picking the lesser of two evils. I know it's important to vote, but I'm like, not right now. I don't know. Somebody who thinks a lot like me and knows a lot of what I know will have to tell me who to vote for because I'll be like, I did that one time and I voted wrong. And it didn't even count allegedly in my state. I was like, well, what was the damn point? Damn. Anyways, I'm being exaggerating. Okay. UFI has brought to the platform to international organizations, including the UN in 2002. Uh-oh, wait. Okay. 300 activists and urging diplomats to, quote, reaffirm marriage and promote sexual abstinence among teenagers, unquote. Sharon Slater, UFI's president at the time, asked UN diplomats to ensure that religions are respected and protected in UN documents, insofar as they respect the family and the dignity of the human person. Can y'all try that here? Over here, over yonder? Because y'all not making all this stuff for us. I don't believe. I don't feel it. I don't know. I'm probably wrong. And I hope I am. Issues. And it gets interesting here. Issues, right? This is, of course, where it ties in with us, huh? Political involvement. UFI considered by some to be part of the Christian right. And a Mormon organization. All that, damn, it's like two, boom, boom. Okay, it's connected with several politicians in Arizona. Oh, shit. Republican U.S. Representative Andy Biggs is the former policy advisor to UFI, and his wife Cindy is the secretary and treasurer of the organization. Republican State Representative Cecil Ash and his wife are also affiliated with the organization. Here we go. I mean, I don't know much about this. I just remember the Prop 108, right? Or 108 in California or something. And I mean, don't take it as like I can only fit so much in my head. I just know about it. I know it's about like this. Okay. It resembles a lot of what this is about to come out of my mouth. In 2006, UFI contributed 50 grand in support of Arizona Proposition 107. I'm assuming that's close to 108. And what the church allegedly did and looked like they did with some really shitty shit. Okay. If that is true. Yeah, I'm just saying it looks like it is. In support of Arizona Proposition 107, the Protect Marriage Arizona Initiative, a proposed same-sex marriage ban that was ultimately defeated. Then you have guys like Gordon Bowen driving behind the Mormon church. And I say that because in my head, it was a whole lot better and I landed it, okay, in front of y'all. I was like, oh, yeah, this is going to be like tying it in because our friend at ldsabuse.com, Justin Riggs, has appeared on The Occult Rejects, which, I mean, please go check out his presentation about Skull and Bones, Russell Nelson, okay, the life of Russell M. Nelson, the prophet of the LDS Church, the current living prophet. And his interesting background, he and many others with the 3-letter government agencies and how they all affect us even today. Even those of us who are not LDS, those of us who are just following a case about, Charles, Tylee, Tammy, JJ, and Joe. Okay. But I mean, this is a difficult research and it's not getting any better. It stinks and it's shitty, but here we are. And we didn't come this far just to come this far. So I'm not going to give up because I'm scared. I'm not scared. I mean, whatever. We've got remote viewing and all kinds of crazy crap. We got a couple of ruse. We got everything you want here. We got everything. Refrigerators. Anyways. All right. So, okay. I didn't even make it this far, really. I went to Andy Biggs. Okay. And I'm like, oh, there's our boy. Okay. There's our boy. And I say that because, hold on. Andrew Stephen Biggs, born November 7th, 1958, is an American attorney and politician who represents Arizona's 5th congressional district in the United States House of Representatives. The district, which was once represented by U.S. Senators John McCain. Just those two right there, I'm like, okay, I'm done. Because I have a picture of Andy Biggs here with Gabe, the bishop, Gabe Bonilla, who is the illustrator for Jason Mao, right? Jason Mao, our boy Jason Mao, J Mao. And I have a picture of Jason Mao with Senator McCain and family at a gathering, if you can catch my drift, a gathering. Wherever these people go to gather, it's not good, according to somebody else. And so the fact that whenever Jason Mao released his book, the Time to Warrior Up stuff, the war chapters, basically, this whole Nephi, Captain Moroni, blah, 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 whatever. He also wrote a children's book, for what it's worth, after all this stuff, which to me is just very shitty, in my opinion. It don't say, sorry, Tylee and JJ. Sorry, Charles. It don't say that. I looked. Anyways, and, there's also the picture with Tim, a couple of pictures with Tim and Jason Mao, in their patriarchal grip. Thank you, brother. Thank you too, brother. You got any helicopters for me to paramilitary, jump out of? And he's like, oh yeah, just picking. Wait till we can conjure up another storm. Just nothing's off the table. But anyways, out of my conspiracy zone. Okay, it says, is an American. Okay, I already saw that. The district, which was once represented by U.S. Senators John McCain and Jeff Flake. I've heard Trace mention Jeff Flake, and I don't really know too much about him. So you get to school me. Is in the heart of the East Valley and includes most of Mesa and Chandler and all of Queen Creek and Biggs' hometown of Gilbert. I'm like, well, damn, that's the whole damn area that Lori and Alex, and we got the Gilbert police documents. We have the Chandler police documents. Alex lived in Queen Creek. I think Dilemma does too. And I was just like, oh man, okay. So this is where this is, early life. Biggs was born on we already said that, November 7th, 1958 in Tucson, Arizona. Interesting. I didn't realize this till just now, but David Hamblin, his family is moved from the northeast coast, New York area, where his dad was David Hamblin now. So his dad, Robert Hamblin, was a sociologist, and he would perform or get paid to by our government to experiment or try this reward system. And if you go listen to David Levitt talk about what it is to, what SRA is, he's like, it's just like you train a dog. And then he talks about how you train a little girl to, repetition and reward. I swear, can't make this shit up. So if that's just another coincidence, or Jody Hildebrandt maybe got the message, because I mean, she was also kind of, if you study the case about her niece, Jessie, whom we all love, and then Jessie Hildebrandt, you have Jessie Steed, who was definitely wronged. If you ever, please call me. You're my hero, Jessie Steed, and I feel like you hold a whole lot more than you even know. I really do. I mean, you've been through the hell and back, okay? Well, just as the Hamblins moved from New York area, the Upper East Coast, to Tucson, Arizona, I wonder if this is about the time, because Jody Hildebrandt was also, she lived in and grew up in Tucson, Arizona for quite a time. And I just wonder, I haven't done it yet. If anybody can help me in that would be great. But corroborate it in this. I just want to see where and if the families migrated and maybe crossed paths along the way, along their journeys, because it's interesting. They all have a lot of like-minded qualities, if you know what I'm saying, and practices and bad habits. Okay, so he later earned, when he was young, Biggs went on a mission to Japan for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and learned to speak fluent Japanese. He later earned his BA, his bachelor's in Asian Studies from Brigham Young University in 1982. His, oh my gosh, his JD. I'm just going to say JD because I can't think of it right now. What? I'm going blank. Okay, from the University of Arizona in 1984, and his master's, in political science from Arizona State University in 1999. Biggs worked as a lawyer for a firm based in Hobbs, New Mexico, before relocating to Phoenix, where he worked as a prosecutor. In 93, he won $10 million. He is a lucky dude. And he had to pay us 10% on that. He won $10 million in the American Families Publishers Sweepstakes. He appeared in a TV ad with Dick Clark and Ed McMahon to promote the sweepstakes. So he goes straight for it. Okay, he wins $10 million, and he's like, all right, I'm going to take on Arizona or bust. And he's like, election enabled by $10 million in sweepstakes winnings, which made him financially independent. Biggs decided to run for office. Well, I mean, I would too, And I mean, I'm not going to go through all this, but it is interesting, even if you just go catch the, because I don't really know a lot of politic and stuff, but I mean, I'll have to cram through it another day. But just to read the, whatever these are, sources, resources, what are these? References. Okay, and so just kind of look through, and you can kind of tell, again, like I can read headlines and kind of tell where we're going. I mean, already on the SPLC, already kind of backing this, already shaking hands with Jason Mao and Gabe Bonilla. I'm just like, why? At same way I looked at Senator McCain. I'm just like, why? I don't know anything about politics. I don't just like finding out, that President Trump hired Tim Ballard, It's just like, man, they got a PP on everything for real. Sorry. They're talking about these 16 Republicans voted against speeding up visas for Afghans fleeing the Taliban. Yet they'll be on board to support the Nazarene Fund. You know what I mean? It's so you can kind of see. It seemed like it was in two rows when I saw it earlier. I know that he wanted to ban what I read earlier. It was he wanted to ban having to wear a face mask. Oh, there it is. I'm just saying it's not going to hurt anybody. You know, whatever. I didn't like them either. I lost it. Oh, there it is. GOP congressman calls for corona blah, 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 task force to be disbanded so Trump is not undermined. Okay. And right here, 119, it says Henley, Matthew. Okay, Andy Biggs, other politicos tied to Gilbert religious group, a Gilbert religious group labeled as anti-gay, quote, hate group, unquote, by Southern Poverty Law Center. I got to check that. You know, I haven't checked into these yet. Haven't gotten there. Okay, so called for Robert Mueller to resign. I mean, just anyways, go through this. It's interesting, in my opinion, because I just try to size up these people. They choose whether to be an opponent or not, in my opinion. Oh my gosh. Okay, y'all, that's been a long time. Oh yeah. 3 hours. Okay, here's the link to that. Okay, I'm gonna show you the pictures real quick. That way it'll be all in one. Okay, so let me grab that. Let me find it so I don't make y'all dizzy. And ta-da! No. I mean, hold on. So here, I'll just take it out. What's the point, right? Oh my gosh, let me go down. Hold on, I gotta make this smaller. I'm sorry. Okay, well, on it. What the heck? There's supposed to be more options down here. And that'll make sense. Whatever. Let me go over here and grab it. Damn it. Why do things have to do this? It don't make sense. It does it any other time. It's like a whole option. I'll do this, me. It won't let me. It doesn't say like to, oh, I know why. Because it's a mock-up. My bad. I'm silly. Detach image. All that. Right? Okay. So I'm going to walk it over to another one. Hold on. Copy. All this just to be more difficult. Okay, so there is Gabe Bonilla. This is Bishop Gabe, who, in my opinion, let my uncle down and then ultimately let down Tylee, JJ, Tammy. I mean, all of us, in my opinion. I did a little AI search. I just don't have time to share it tonight because I've taken forever. But I mean, I just was like, what should a bishop do if there's a situation where, I mean, I was just being vague because half the time my AI, whatever GPT chat doesn't want to even participate because it's like, no, girl, you be talking about all that dark shit. We cannot talk about red rum. We cannot talk about, or can't talk about none of that. Okay. So anything else that's not politicized. And I mean, I'm just Googling like traffic, Hong Kong. You know what I mean? Like, and that pisses me off more than anything. Quit censoring me. I'll find a way to talk about it. Me. But I mean, here with it's wrapped in a damn pretty little red bow and everything. And look, the good dude right there. He's the illustrator for this one. This one we're just unsure about, in my opinion. I am. And this is Andy Biggs. And there's other pictures. I just didn't load them in. But, you know, they're there. And I mean, this was years ago. Birds of a feather flock together. Look who requested a copy of, quote, A Hero Rises, unquote, but Arizona Majority Leader Andy Biggs. So author Jason Mao, brown nosed him. No, I'm picking. But I mean, I don't know. There's something about Jason Mao's whole story that just don't add up. Okay. The math don't math. I don't know. There's Nicole Bonilla. She's his wife. I don't know, but there's something there. And anyways, yeah, allegedly sealed Chad and Lori in the temple the weekend of November 16th through the 18th, 2018. Bishop Gabe Bonilla is the bishop who picked Charles up from the airport after Lori had canceled his return flight, threatened his life was talking this extremist. I haven't. I'm sorry, I haven't corrected all this yet. I'm just talking smack. Was talking this extremist rhetoric, and who called Melanie Gibb, asking her why the heavy police / emergency medical presence at Zalema's house the day Alex expired. Well, I mean, he's in the know, ain't he? In the know. And then Bishop Gabe Bonilla and wife Nicole Bonilla own a media company, and Gabe was Jason Mau's illustrator he used for his books. Gabe talked to police initially because Charles alerted them that he had a witness to Lori's concerning behaviors towards Charles. Instead, Gabe sealed the fate, in my opinion, for Charles, Tylee, JJ, and Tammy because he downplayed and minimized this highly inflammatory situation. And I mean, again, like I said, I went over it and I was just like, let's really go through likely scenarios between Charles and Gabe. Charles was going to tell anybody and everybody that was going to listen. I mean, for real. And I mean, I'm not just saying it because he's my uncle. I'm saying it because it really appeared to be that way. And everybody slammed the damn door on him, including his in-laws, including his, in my opinion, his clergy, his superior, who you go to when you're like, hey, I need help. You go to your firemen, your policemen, your emergency responders. You go to people that can help you. You don't go run into the lion's den, Well, so just this one guide. Okay. So I'm like, what else can a bishop, I just put in a church, do to help an individual that is in a situation? And I explained it like this. And it says, guide their congregation with compassion and integrity. These dedicated individuals often found themselves balancing responsibilities both within the church and in their personal lives. Their role was not just to lead religious services, but also to offer counsel, support, and understanding to those who sought guidance. Whether it was through organizing community events, providing a listening ear, or simply being a source of strength during challenging times, the bishop's influence extended far beyond the walls of the church. And unpaid, I get it. Their efforts helped to foster a sense of unity and belonging, creating a nurturing environment where faith and fellowship flourished. I mean, again, So we'll go over these another time. I could just post them. But let's see. The church's role in such, well, hold on. Even if one of the spouses was witnessed by a bishop making life-threatening accusations to another spouse. Yeah, I was trying to be vague. And it says the church's role in such matters would be to facilitate healing and reconciliation wherever possible. Not just handing out, getting threatened by Lori, give me my temple recommend, or I'm going to red rum, Come on now. This can't be one-sided all the way. It says reconciliation wherever possible while also upholding justice and accountability. This could involve mediating discussions between the spouses, providing pastoral support, and offering guidance aligned with the church's teachings on forgiveness and compassion. Compassion, pass it along, right? Forgive and forget. Ultimately, the bishop's aim would be to restore harmony and provide a pathway for resolution that respects the dignity and humanity of everyone involved, fostering a community of understanding and mutual respect. It was a very long, windies. All right. Oh, well, here, I happened upon it. And there's me making copies of Tim Ballard and Mal with AI, so they look a little weird. But that's them, okay? Tim and them at the Firm Foundation, April 18th, 2019. I have other ones, but I just happened to see that. That was crazy. All right. We're done with Jason Mal for now. Done with Mal for now. But you can't. No, we're not. No, we're not. Jason Mal posts looking for electric miter saw, September 2nd, 2019 on a Monday. And this was sent to me. So Tim Ballard runs operational railroad. Joseph Murray is involved in that. Rexburg rescue race. I mean, I was given this so long ago, just didn't have all the parts and didn't know how they worked. And I mean, his books are sold in Deseret, or I don't know if they still are, but they were Deseret Industries, Deseret News, the bookstore. There she is with all her little evilness. And there's Thor, J Mal, and this Randa chick. Which, I mean, so Jason Mal, he gets promoted to being a freaking seminary teacher, just like Mike Stroud. Well, he got quiet. Either that or I'm just not looking anymore that direction. I still, ugh. All right, we'll get out. Except for this one. Jason Mal, found my spirit animal. December 11, 2019. Bah humbug. This dog is looking extra festive for dull bungholes like Jason Mal. No, I'm kidding. See, I took a picture of a paper. Great evening. This is April 14, 2019. And it says, great evening speaking and sharing the stage with Tim Ballard from Operation Underground Railroad. Thanks to all who came out and listened as we talked about being true warriors. So true. It's only true if you say it enough. And don't forget, after the fireworks, leave out cookies and milk for Captain America. July 3rd, 2019. Ooh. We'll end on this. Let me find it. Hold on. Bear with me. See all my screenshots. They're crazy. Don't judge. I researched some crazy folk. Let me just go to videos. VIDEO. It'll be top. There's this one too. Hold your ears.
Or people that were in our family are dead. There comes a point where you got to wake up and realize there's some either mental illness there, some evil influences there. At some point, you're going to have to come to that.
Oh, yeah, we're all freezing. Hold on. Oh, yeah, speak no evil. I couldn't find it long ago, or not long ago, but I will. I'm sure I have it screen recorded, but oh, crap. Melanie, I'm broke.
That you can't live in this pretended bubble that you believe in anymore. It's got to pop eventually, because you're not going to come out of jail. You're going to be there for the rest of your life.
Speaking of pop, right? I know. She's very alarming, that one. Okay, we're going to watch a little bit of this right here, because this is kind of how they work. Okay, just hear me out. We're going to go, oh, we're not going to pretend like that's a face, or where'd it go? Oh.
What was your favorite birthday? Not year, but
hold on. I know it's a little, but yay! I'm telling you, he gave Reyes a freaking.
Okay, first of all, Paris Hilton's there, Kim Kardashian's there, Kendall Jenner's there, Justin Bieber is there, Kanye West is there, P. Diddy was there. I think Madonna might have been there. There was a lot of very famous people there. And the infamous this picture, y'all have probably seen before, it was taken at that party.
And it was last minute party, and I was not expecting so many people came from all over the world to celebrate my 40th birthday. So
you.
Share.
Please do not send any hate or honestly comments of any kind to anyone mentioned in this video on behalf of me or yourself. The purpose of this video is to give my commentary and opinion on matters of public concern. Thank you.
I'm at a party I don't want to be at. I think Justin Bieber might have wrote that song at this Ricardo Tieski party, but we'll get to that. I don't like nobody but you. I hate everyone here. 20 years old. So all this is kind of leading up into the main crescendo, in my opinion, which is the Ricardo Tieski birthday party.
What was your favorite birthday? Not year, but an event on your birthday. What was
my 40th birthday, 2 years, 1 year, 2 years.
Ukraine, think Ukraine. David Levitt.
Ricardo Tucci, you know that's his special friend, girl. I mean, by the way, if you like her sneakers, they're Nikes, but they're a special edition Ricardo Tucci. You know, Kanye's special friend. Yeah, for Givenchy. Yeah, that's him.
She's very important in my job. And Marina, she's very beautiful.
That's that lady.
17 years old. She's one of the most amazing women.
Right.
69 and a half.
Ran in bed.
Why is Kanye looking at him like that?
Y'all know who Ricardo Tiesky is? Because he's been flying safely way under my radar for far too long. I mean, the man didn't even blip on the screen. I've talked about this before in other videos, but Corey Handler Gamble, who used to be Kanye West's manager, also used to be, or perhaps still is, Justin Bieber's manager. Corey Handler Gamble, you probably know from being Kris Jenner's purse holder and sugar baby / boyfriend who she will never marry. And I have talked about him and them on this channel as one of some of my first videos ever. But Corey Handler Gamble and Kris Jenner allegedly, apparently, met at this party in Ibiza, Spain back in 2014. So 10 years ago, they met at this party. The lore is that what I'd come across said that Kanye West threw the party. He hosted it for his friend
Ricardo Tucci. You know that's his special friend, girl.
Ricardo Tiesky. But now I went back and actually looked into the damn party. Girl, okay, first of all, Paris Hilton's there, Kim Kardashian's there, Kendall Jenner's there, Justin Bieber is there, Kanye West is there, P. Diddy was there. I think Madonna might have been there. There was a lot of very famous people there. And the infamous this picture, y'all have probably seen before, it was taken at that party. That very same party was held on the same day and time as this, like, I don't know, some type of pagan festival. What these
Chicket. Lammas, also known as whatever is a pagan holiday and one of the 8 Wiccan Sabbats during the year. Each S-word marks a seasonal turning point. The Sabbat occurs on August 1st, which is about halfway between the summer solstice and the fall equinox. I'm only saying this because it caught my attention because of the conjuring that Melanie Gibb and David Warwick, they summons all their demons to go to where my Uncle Charles had just been red rummed 2 weeks before on August 1st and August 2nd of 2019 to, you know, do whatever that group does. And if you think it was praying, I don't think so. Okay, I'm pointing this out because it's significant to me because it's done in plain sight because they're not going to flip and tell you.
People are doing, and it's like a ritual to do in horse racing and matchmaking and revelry and things. And so they're all gearing up for this party in August or July. Hashtag, they have a hashtag for the party.
Also note, this is about the time that Tim Ballard's movie Sound of Freedom came out, July 4th, 20. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just thinking of different years, but different, same kind of dates.
He's a 74 in honor of Year the Man Was Born or something. It's supposed to be Studio 54 inspired. And that was like where they were doing all kinds of debauchery in the 60s and 70s in LA or whatever. Studio 54 is like they were doing debauchery. And so this party in 2014 where Kris Jenner met her sugar baby and purse holder, Corey Handler Gamble, who's co-managers of Justin Bieber and Kanye West at the time. He's co-managing with Scooter Braun at Scooter Braun's company.
And my thing is like, okay, but why is Sean Reyes hanging around or accepting whatever's leather recliner, whatever chairs from, you know, that's just a smoke and mirror thing. That's just one of those things that makes me repeat myself and sound stupid because I'm retelling it from the actual lawsuit that said this, that and in Max Place in Salt Lake City, which is a secret club. Okay. And really, again, like Jason shared with me a while back, he was like, well, Kresha, he was like, the temple, you have to have a membership to get in. You can't just be any freak off the street, you know? You know what I'm saying? Regulators mount up for anybody who knows that. So he's like, I mean, basically that is your secret society as well. I'm not saying everybody, I'm just saying where these clowns hang around with people like you who take your holy temple serious. You know what I'm saying? So instead of just being defensive, you know, like let's flesh this out. Let's get to the bottom of it because I'm tired of Tylee and JJ's happening and R and E's from Ruby Frankie and Jody. You know what I mean? I'm tired of the wake of victims. Okay.
And that's Taylor Swift's manager. So now I'm curious about the whole Taylor Swift sideline.
No,
But
no
so
problem.
today I got to looking into this party. Now, in my Selena Gomez video research, I saw Selena Gomez was in none other than Brentwood, Tennessee, Lou Taylor's favorite stomping grounds. You know, she 15 Ward Circle, Brentwood. Selena Gomez was in Brentwood, Tennessee, with some type of handler following her around at a market. Look, I'll put it right here. In August 2014. But her and Justin were supposedly, reportedly, allegedly together at that time. Well, here's pictures of Justin in Ibiza in August 2014. And here he is with all these people, and he's doing all this stuff. Kim Kardashian's there at the matchmaking party. And that's where Kris Jenner meets Justin Bieber's manager, Corey Gamble. All the while, she wants her daughters to date him to help their modeling careers. And Selena Gomez is trapped. Allegedly. Maybe she voluntarily checked herself in at wherever she was in Brentwood or Nashville. But like Selena Gomez was in a rehab and they had Justin Bieber, looks like a freak off. You know who else is there? Cassie. Cassie was with Diddy at that party in a see-through outfit. We got this other poor girl right here. I mean, we ain't even gonna be able to put her uncensored outfit. Then I started getting a looking at this man's Instagram account. Y'all, it is frightening. I thought all these freaks and weirdos deleted this type of stuff back in 2016 when a certain was kind of being talked about. But his Instagram account has reminded me of the paintings on Benny Blanco's living room parlor wall. That's what I will say. It's looking like the same types of people. And why is Marina Abramovich all over the place? Y'all, also, what's the deal with the Vogue interview that Ricardo Tisci did? If you don't know who Ricardo Tisci is, like I didn't, maybe we already put a clip in to explain it because it's confusing. Ricardo Tisci is like one of these fashion people. He's from Italy, he's Italian, and he's weird. He's a freaking weirdo. And he's one of these people that's like the fashion director of Givenchy, Burberry, whatever. Like, he's one of those fashion weirdos. And he seems to kind of be like a kingmaker or a queenmaker in the fashion industry. He's always hanging out with Naomi Campbell. He used to always be hanging out with Beyonce. And at one point in time, he was running this fashion campaign for Burberry where Gigi and Bella Hadid were models in the campaign, and so was Kendall Jenner. So yeah, nepotism, but also at the same time, it's giving that man is the guy who gets to decide if you're going to be on the runway or not. And they were all out there hashtagging Ibiza 74. Then what is this, pigs?
What is that, y'all? I mean, straight up. You know, this is the stuff we're talking about.
From the next year, looks like he did it again. What's this, pigs? What is this? Last night? Hashtag love? Hashtag family? This is where Justin Bieber was with P. Diddy and Cassie and Kris Jenner and Corey Gamble, his manager, and Kendall Jenner. What? I fell down the rabbit hole. I mean, seriously, it was hours. It was hours on this man's Instagram account. I got all the screenshots because I know he's going to delete stuff now. Anyway, right around the literally exact. Oh, guess who else was there? Paris Hilton. And then she went and did a DJ set like down the beach a few days later.
Hey guys, it's Paris Hilton. I'm back in Ibiza. Cannot wait to be playing my first show August 6th and every Wednesday after that.
She's just nothing bad ever happens to her. Anyway,
So, I mean, it's going to flash. I mean, I can't help, you know, I can slow it down if I need me to, but I'm going to try and stop it on this one picture, and it gives me big best friends, Animal Society vibes, big time. Oh, I'm going to try and catch. They're going to get crazy. So bored with all their money. I don't want to be weird or that weird or that bored. Oh, I get through. So this is BJ Investigates. Y'all check her out. She's hilarious. Oh, there it was. Okay, let me not make the same mistake I did earlier. Come on. That's going to be tough. Ugh. When you slow them down, that's when it gets worrisome. It reminds me of this Black Supper thing that, oh my God. It reminds me of Gordon Bowen. It gives me really bad Gordon Bowen vibes. Oh, I forgot about the pancreas looking thing. Hold on. Did I skip it? Okay, we're going to try this again. After the horse, and 2 horses. Okay. Oh, sorry. Gun shy. Trigger happy. Hold on. It's hard to catch, so after her bones. Oh, it's coming up soon. Oh, no, sorry. Oh, after those two horses. Okay, hold on. Oh, there it is. Okay, look at that picture. He's got a dog. And look at the blood around his mouth and on his outfit. I can't blow it up because it'll roll to the next one. But this is that Javishi or whatever she was talking about. And I was just like, oh, hell no. This is best friends vibes, in my opinion. Let me know what you think. And then I'll try and find this other one. That'll make you freaking mad. Oh my God, get that baby. A mask. Black and white floors. Okay, come on. Weird. I mean, they're just weird pictures, y'all. Okay, there it was. I mean, yeah, I stopped on this one and I was like, what in the fuck am I looking at? I'm trying to find it again. I'm trying to stop. Oh, it's somewhere right here. Oh, there. Okay. This looks like a pelvis bone. And looks like he has it turned up on his head. Coming soon. Whatever. I'm just saying. It's just, I don't know. Whatever. I mean, in whateverville. Whatever in whateverville. I don't want none of it. That's my mom's birthday, January 19th. It's a very long slideshow. How many babies is he gonna hold? Blood is not a flipping, flopping. Blood is not an accessory, okay? And it's just these people freak me out, basically. Talking about freaking. Freak. Yeah, the shape. It was like upside down. At first, I didn't catch it, and then I was like, And then, but if I really think about it, whenever David Hamblin's daughters, right? The Hamblin daughters, they came forward with their statements. I've read their statements, their allegations about allegedly being brought by their mother as a form of punishment to the Punisher, okay, who is allegedly Gordon Bowen, who is this just wealthy dude who it seems like my friend Justin Riggs with LDSabuse.com on his presentations on the Occult Rejects channel, okay, at the very end, he's just like, it just seems like Gordon Bowen is kind of running in his conspiracy is kind of running the church behind the scenes. And so, and then again, I didn't get to tie in the whole brand ambassador thing, which I mean, may or may not be. I don't know. It's up for debate. But it just, I mean, he's making a lot of decisions behind the scenes. It seems like, I mean, they rebranded and said, you can't say Mormon anymore because it's a victory for Satan. Okay. But they're rebranding. It's all about rebranding. And that's what he is. He owns McGarry Bowen. Okay. And he is the center of my conversations because of the statements that I've read, the allegations from these girls who corroborate each other. They didn't sit there and tell the story verbatim with one another. They told this and they're still trying to get that to trial. They can't even get it past. David Levitt throws wrenches in it all the live long day. When he's not, then other people are. And I mean, I see this is horrible. I know. I'm not laughing. This is crazy. It is crazy and it's wild. And I can't. I laugh because maybe it's uncomfortable. And I can't imagine the last moments of Tylee and JJ's lives. That's all. That's my nephew. So I can laugh. It's crazy. It's insidious. And I plunge into this stuff constantly. So it's crazy. They're crazy and it's gross. And no child should ever have to deal with this. I mean, and just studying the Diddy case. Okay. I'm not so much about like really the connections, but the weirdness, the weirdness. Okay. The GHB was found in JJ's system along with caffeine, which I mean, okay, the body produces that, whatever. But I mean, I just don't see why they brought it up. Then why'd they bring it up if the body produces it and everything's normal, So, and then we don't know that about Tylee because she, because of her condition in which these people make jokes about it. Okay. So they believe in this. They believe in this, whether you or I do or not, we don't have to agree. We don't have to agree, but we have to, I mean, I would think that we would agree that this is a problem. And I'm not saying the Salem witch trial. I'm not saying that. No henchmen or anything. I'm just saying that. And it has been. You're right, Zero. It has been. It has. Look, I mean, I want to follow the trial for. Did that happen? No, that's tomorrow, huh? Abby and Libby. That, I mean, come on. I'm like, wow, that whole case has been just kind of like John Bonet, like it's just like everybody's like on it, and it's just created no justice, whatever that looks like for a victim, Well, exactly. And you know how Lori and Melanie have kind of come off, where they're just in these, it's like a drug. And allegedly, I don't know. I'm over here just trying to figure it out with you. And I do too. I do too, Chrissy. I try to. I mean, it's hard because, I mean, again, I know that JJ and Tylee, I know that's what this is. Did you know there's such a thing? And I'm sorry, but it's true. I mean, there's too many accounts of it, okay? And these people do it in plain sight. And I'm not dumb, okay? Like, maybe if this hadn't happened to my family, then okay, yeah. But I mean, I don't have an angle here besides what about the rest of them, basically, okay? It is about bloodlines. It is about the competition of the bloodlines. Bloodlines is something that is preached for sure in the LDS church about, do your temple work, all that stuff. It's all kept in a vault in the mountain, right? and the 23andMe test, all those weird things, right? I know. I still have them because I won't take them. I'm like, because I bought those in the midst of all this happening, and I was like, oh no. And ritual, yeah, inward. So I mean, it's real. It's surreal as the day is long. Okay, and I don't know. I try to size this up a lot. Oh yeah, Bohemian. Yep, I've been right there too, Chrissy. I'm telling you. I remember visiting this topic in the very beginning, because I was just like, just kind of like I'd go peek around in Reddit. I didn't really know. I just kind of go wherever I go, and I take what I need and I leave the rest. I don't take everything verbatim. I don't take everything as, oh yeah, it's wholeheartedly this. No, I mean critical thinking, like you said, and it's just I try to refrain myself here because of where we're at, and because I mean it took me a long time to even get across the religious barriers and the what am I trying to say? The culture shock. I mean, I'm from Southwest Louisiana. This all happened up north. They believe in Mormonism. I didn't know it was any damn different. I didn't even know my uncle was a Mormon. I didn't know. Okay. But from what I've learned, I didn't seek to like transition to the church. I didn't seek to join the church. I mean, I just wanted to see where the beliefs, because they were being called a cult, I wanted to see, oh no shit. Tim Ballard, straight up, just saying. I gotta find the clip. I just haven't gone to look for it yet, but I remember it a long time ago, and one of his, I can visualize the interview, but he talked about how he had tunnels underneath OUR. He said it, nobody else, and I was just like, huh. He talks about digging tunnels, also working for HSI, allegedly. I need to gather some money and send off for the FOIA request or whatever it is for HSI, because that was a tip that somebody had shared on an interview it's behind a paywall. So it's not my paywall, but it was Jesse Stay. He used to work for the church and for Tim Ballard, and just helping them brand ambassador, right? The whole thing. Laurel Kenyon. I need to learn more about that. I'm sorry. It's crazy though, but it's their crazy. Okay. That's a lot of this too, is just, it's their crazy, and we don't have to live with it, but there will be people missing from your life if you don't take it seriously. And I don't want to just, I can't, my body, my mind, my soul, all the things, everything I've learned, it just won't, I can't settle. I won't settle for it just being Chad and Lori and Alex. Just doopity doop. No, no, this was more than that. There is a such thing as human hunting, and it's depraved as all get out. It's depraved. Gordon Bowen allegedly showed the girls, the Hamblin daughters, these death masks, and they even recount stories. Who needs Halloween? Okay, don't celebrate that shit anyway. But like, who needs scary shit when you can just go read a document, a FOIA request of some really heinous, egregious, severe CSA that has gone unhinged, unchecked, basically, because everybody's been told, no, that's satanic panic. Sit down. And then we're supposed to just be like, yes, mommy, yes, daddy. And then we do that for so long. I mean, I was too little to know anything back. I didn't know anything about that. But you can't just have all this lore and just because people just want to tell stories. Bullshit. Come on now. What year? It's 2024 and a half over. My intuition always, as always, told me to stay away from the LDS church. And I mean, really, Gene, from any church, in my opinion, I'm just like, I'm good. I feel like that, that Tesla song where he's like, signs everywhere, signs. Yeah. The hunting stories. And then think about, just let me throw this into your imagination. Sean Reyes, being questioned by taxpayers for going on these exotic or whatever, elaborate big game, wink at a wink, hunting excursions where he's actually allegedly shooting high-powered weapons from a helicopter. And then I don't want to think about this, but I do, because it's just one of those things where I'm like, did it happen? I don't know. Will we ever know? Did this happen to Tylee on her way home from Yellowstone? Being serious, this is not, I'm serious, because we don't know, because we don't have the rest of her. She don't have the rest of herself. And it just, I don't know. I probably need to get that out of my mind. And I mean, it's just crazy. And it sucks because there's so many victims who are unnamed, who will never know because they are victims of the border. I'm not trying to be politicized. This is just I'm like, there's people and they're having border wars and whatever. I don't give a shit about what they're doing, but I feel like I know what's happening. And whether that's true or not, I don't know. And I hope not, but my gut's like, girl, you know better. I hate that. I really do hate that. Ravina, I think Lori killed Tylee after that phone call. I always thought it was Chad, but now I really think it was Lori. I think it was all of them. I do. I think this is game to them. This is like, I picture, and I haven't seen the movie in a long time, but, what's the Hunger Games? That type of, they're just like, oh, and it's just all entertainment for them. And yeah, anyways, that and a little bit of, again, I don't remember the total name of it, but it was like a Great American Race or something, where it's like whatever race. I don't know. I can't think of the thing. But there's a game spin to it. And it's because it's a game to them. And I mean, what's it called? The great, man, I suck. I'm towards the end of the live stream. So I'm like, whoa. I mean, J.R. Sweet, if you go watch some of his interviews on like the Galactic Storyteller or Asia Rain, I believe these people. In the beginning of this, I was just like, and still to a degree, I'm just like, oh God, some of the things they explain and describe, I will never say, hey, you're lying. I'm just going to say, ooh, wow, and just pray for healing for them. And just be glad that I haven't had to, go that route. But anyways, I mean, it seems like there's far more truth to these stories than there are people just out for money or trying to stop somebody politically, whatever, all the things. They always say it's baseless. I'm like, damn, do they ever change the tone? Baseless. Yeah. We can be grateful that Chad wasn't able to gather followers. I killed them all. But I mean, I think they were in this together. And I think it's generational for sure. I mean, that's shown us that. Even our own, those of us who have not gone through horrific CA or A, I mean, we still have our own generational hangups, I would think, where this person's toxic, this person's not, you know what I mean? Like the whole dynamics of everything. I don't know. It's interesting, but it's terrible. Chandler, Gilbert, Arizona are locations of intergenerational polygamous church of the firstborn children, the belly of the beast. Some of them, huh? Huh. That's crazy. Not crazy. I say crazy because I can't think of anything more clever. It's about as original as I get. 5 years of this crap. And I'm just like, it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy. That is so interesting, though, because I'm sorry, I'm inappropriate at times. So I remember hearing something. It's like the closer the kin, the deeper it's in. I know, but it's just like they're so sick. That's how they act. That's like royalty here. They're like, oh, okay, closer to the kin. I like trees that branch out. They should not go straight up. And I mean, it's not the fault of the children that come from this. That's somewhere I haven't studied a lot, is the polygamous side of this. I know I've dabbled a little bit, I've watched a little bit, but not as much as I don't even know I don't know what else. Where have I been studying? Everywhere else, I guess. I don't know. But I'm sure you've done, I don't remember this though. I remember you talking about Julie Rowe, emerging photon. I still now, I mean, I've gone in and out of where I believe Julie Rowe is in this. I believe she is the call out. She is the call out. She might be the caca and all the weird shit that she said and says and does and whatever. And whether she's in or out of the church, or whether, all these people are in or out of the church, it's still, I mean, I would think of this the dark arts, their kind of practice as it's more of a lifestyle or a way of life. Maybe they don't know any different. And that's like, maybe they're taught that this is Jesus. And I don't really know. I go back and forth with all that right now. I can kill you with my, PC. And then I think about my Uncle Charles. He was a Kappa Sig. I got to dig more into that aspect of it. I'm just like, what do all these mean? Like it. I start thinking about my other uncles, and I'm just like, is that why my uncle, who used to be a DEA agent and worked for Bell South, is that why his plane crashed? I mean, I'm doing some like, whoa, yeah, a lot of My mama Trahan used to tell me that, or tell us, it's just one of those things, rumblings that the Cajun Mafia, and I'm just like, yeah, well, there used to be an Italian restaurant in Lake Charles on 5th Avenue called Papania's. I don't know. My Uncle Earl used to frequent that a lot. My grandparents were, business owners in the community, yada, yada, yada. Oh my gosh. There's so many things. I'm like, let me research out there. But whatever. It is what it is, right? As long as we can break the cycles, Colby, he does. I'm so proud of him, Ravina. I know a lot of us are. She couldn't control him. Nope. And I mean, just the mere, and there's those photos, those last, I didn't have them pulled up, but the last photos of Tylee, it's some selfies, like I want to say 1 or 2 with Lori, and then one of Tylee by herself where she has her pendant on, the one that was found near Chad Daybell's fire pit. So, and Tylee looked so upset. So, I mean, let's just assume, I don't know, because I have always wondered if Melanie and David drove in for the event. And I mean, I do have a lot of examples of, or more than one example, more than one person of these people that I talk about calling other people raccoons, coons. I would say my theory is that it's a racist slur, right? It could be, or can't, you know what I'm saying? Like in normal society. But in their society, they're labeling to their, it's like a caca, it's like a cat call or a dog whistle to others who are in their plain sight belief system, who are like, oh yeah, he's dark too. I mean, like when Janet Russin, I'm gonna say allegedly, whenever she called Adam Herbitz of Fox 13 News because he was snooping in her trash or something, and she said like a raccoon, and I was like, why does it have that negative connotation behind it there, sister? And it's like, Tylee, Chad referred to her, fun times, right? Fun times. A raccoon. I mean, it's just like, it's just, I don't know. It is a secret language. It so is. Oof. Well, they're good at it. They are, but they also tell on themselves too. So they're not smart. I mean, let's just, okay. Can we just throw that out there? They're sneaky. They're sneaky, but they are not smart. And so we have that going for us. Yes, everything was on everything. She stripped that girl down and then made her smell Melanie Gibb. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, just. I wish I could just like one time, or just if I knew that wherever they're at, I know whether they're here or not here, or move on in spirit, or you know what I'm saying, afterlife. I mean, maybe we should do it all together, or like, as we're leaving tonight, just send love and just compassion and just that type of energy to Tylee, to JJ, the kids, named and unnamed, known and unknown, not found yet. They still want to be rescued. I feel like that with Tylee and JJ. I feel like no matter, I know that we weren't there in time. I know that they were found unalived, egregiously for Tylee. I mean, just all around. It's just not right. And just, I still feel like they were rescued from that yard, that backyard, that hell. I know that's a weird perspective, maybe. I don't know. I'm just like, I don't know. I still feel a lot of feelings about that. Oh, wow. You crazy there, Huggy Bear. I would love to hear some some damn stories. Wow. Oh my God. I'd be like so hypochondriac, like my Uncle Charles. Obviously, I just learned that, right? About him being a hypochondriac. If it's true from Lori, right? Me and Ashley talked about this too because of this interview with Lori and that stuff. She's like, I don't want to be buried. I was like, me neither, girl. Okay. And so we are right here. Rocky Raccoon, McGill University, MK Ultra Mind Control Programming. I'm still looking into this, okay, the mind control programming. And so I'm just like, well, for sure, my friend Chris is in here a lot of the times. He'll be here on replay if not. But he has taught me what I do know about NLP and how, like, and I mean, I know it's just a part of it, but like, that's kind of what Julie Rowe does too, the non-linguistic programming. That's part of this too. Something happens in the temple, or that particular temple. Again, I get like not a vision, but how you picture things. When you learn that your aunt's spending a lot of time in the temple, or hindsight, I mean, as this was happening, not as it was happening, but after the case was unraveling, I was learning that she was spending more and more time in the temple and being super extreme with that. And like, I'm like, what the hell? And then you picture Jason Mount, and I picture him being like, Lori. That's what goes through my mind, like Lori Moroni. But then you learn about these, not just the second anointing, but which all goes hand in hand, kind of. I don't know which goes in first, but I think the calling and election made sure ties into the second anointing or not. I don't really know. I've had so many people say, nope, it's not the second anointing because this, and this has to happen. They have to be wealthy. They have to be yada, yada, yada. And so it's like everybody's own conditions, and I'm like, but there's no rules. It's just kind of like whomever I would think that people who do that kind of stuff, who perform those kind of ceremonies and are okay with it, then it's not really for religious purposes. If you, not the kind that we want to put on that. And I know I'm very, I mean, not everybody agrees with my way of thinking. It's very inverted because of these people, but only because I'm wanting to see it as I don't know. I don't know if I want to even see it anymore. Damn it, I've seen a lot of it. Donald Donaldson conspiracy equals, yeah. I mean, we need to be there for anybody who ever goes through another Mormon crime and make sure that everybody is up to par on the definitions, okay? Because I would have loved to have known that secret combinations equaled Satanism. That would have been a big old, hey. So we need to reread the Melanie Gibb 7-page letter that she wrote to Avo. And she talked about the secret combinations and how she learned so much from this that whatever. It's happening. Hush. You still got my barbecue? Yeah. Where is Ravina? Girl, you heard me. You heard us. We're like, hey. Email me. All right. Thank y'all for being here and just hanging in for almost a damn afternoon, nighttime. Anyways, y'all, I'm related to, I'm so sorry. I'm telling myself this, but I mean, I remember my grandma Bootsy, which is what her nickname was on my real dad's side, my paternal father's side, or my maternal side, paternal. And so my grandmother, I remember them saying that we're related to Jerry Lee Lewis, Jimmy Swaggart, and Mickey Gilly. We have no top lip. No top lip. That's how you can tell if you're a Gilly or not. I know, 4 hours. Oh my God, I love you guys. I miss y'all so much and enjoyed this time too. So thanks for listening to me spew. Obama. Y'all gotta quit writing good comments. But anyways, justice for Tylee, Charles, Tammy, JJ, and Joe, because that's what it's all about anyways, right? Gotta bring it back there. They have opened Jerry Lee Lewis' house for visitors now. Great balls of fire, right? Marrying cousins and stuff. That's where I come. That is crazy. We don't choose our family, XOXO. No, we don't, but we can. And that's you guys. So thank you. I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys. I just